What's good? What's good? What's good? Good YouTube. What's good Instagram? It's your boy Dre. It's Sunday, and I'm just kicking it, man. Just kicking it. M1, what's good, big dog? Salute. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, man, I ain't talking about much of nothing, man. We just kicking it, bro. I'm about to actually put the link in the chat, man. This ain't one of my scheduled lives, nothing like that, bro. I just want to put some information out there and see who got advice or who got suggestions. But other than that, man, we just kicking it, man. It's more like a members meeting slash town hall type thing, man. Uh Let me go ahead and hit him with that intro, and I'm gonna get right to business. Which one I want to play? Let's play this one.
Please forgive. Too many mind.
Too many mind?
Mind the school. Mind the people.
Let him go, Andre.
Mind the enemy. Too many mind.
What's good? What's good? What's good, big dog? M1 in the building. Yes, sir. Tony M in the building. Yes, sir. Dickie Foster coming through with that two-piece tip. Hey, let's get it. Yeah, man. Y'all, I want to read y'all some of these comments from this week, man. This is crazy, man. This is hilarious. I want to show y'all how crazy people are, man, and the things that all your favorite YouTubers are dealing with. Sir Kennels, what's good, big dog? Hey, sir, let me tell you, man, I already had the police call on me this morning for walking my dog in the neighborhood, man. That's what it is, man. I'm gonna tell y'all. I'll tell y'all that while I'm pulling up these comments. So I'm walking my dog. I get up typically before 7:00 to walk the dogs, even on the weekend. That way, it's less people out. I ain't got to deal with this person and that person, and my dog setting off neighbors' dogs and all that stuff, man. And I was at about 2.5 miles, and a white pickup truck pulls up right where I'm at and pulls off to the side of the road, and I see him whip out his phone or whatever. And I just watch him, you know what I'm saying? I just watch him. And, he's looking at me, I'm looking at him. And I continue to walk, man. I continue to walk. I got on my Samurai Kennels hoodie. I got on my backpack, and I got my 380 on me. So I'm like, please don't do nothing stupid, mister. That's not a good move. That's not a good look. And so sure enough, next thing you know, boom, the police riding through the neighborhood, and I live here, What's good, M1?
What's happening, bro?
Shoot, can't call it, might spoil it.
Oh man, your call better than mine.
Yeah, man. But when I was telling the man, it wasn't even a neighbor, just somebody driving through my neighborhood pulled over, and they hopped on the phone, and it's a black dude walking a pit bull through the neighborhood, and it'd be like that, man. It'd be like that, But that's why I'm gonna read some of these comments, y'all. I want y'all to see the kind of people we dealing with in this world, with these dogs. And my dog is actually pet weight. I did a video yesterday. He's fat right now. You know what I'm saying? No signs of maltreatment, malnourishment. And y'all already know I keep my dogs. They're kept in a climate controlled environment. But he don't know that, man. He's profiling. He's perpetuating that cycle of hatred. We're gonna combat that hatred with love, and love and education, man. Love and education. How you doing today, big bro?
Man, I'm all good. You all right?
Yeah, man. The police rode by. They didn't see nothing. They kept it moving.
I get that a lot.
Yeah,
we get that a lot. Well, shit. Until they finish all the situation, with my property, I'm in town. So I get that a lot. And when I say I'm in town, I'm in town. Yeah, I get that a lot. I done had them call on me talking about he got him up here to the hotel, you know what I'm saying, this, that, and the other. And they come through and they done asked the manager what's going on. She told him that's a service dog. She's a good dog type of shit. I ain't said nothing else.
yes, sir.
Categorize it, man.
Yes, sir, man. Let me do a quick roll call, bro. Some more people done jumped in here. Shouts out to Haki Lee. Shouts out to the wifey. Man, shouts out to Pitbulls and prospecting, bro. Hey, man, I got a video. I got to figure out how to pull Instagram videos over here, man. They got a bulldog on a real Cape Buffalo. I'm talking, man, nasty video, bro. Nasty. You know, this bulldog is working. You know, and I don't think I'm ever gonna run up on a Cape Buffalo in America, but yeah, man, Mr. Biggs, what's up? But let me read out some of these comments, man. I'm gonna give y'all some of my reactions to these comments live, bro. And M1, you know, you already know, bro. Give them the business once you hear this craziness. Okay.
Yeah.
So, based on the video I posted late last night, early this morning, this is one of the reactions I got. All right, and I'm not gonna say these people's names, man, but you'll see them. So the video from last night, it's a short. It says, "What I take on a dog walk." Now, this is one of the comments I got, y'all. This dude says, "You must live in a Democratic neighborhood." No period. I carry a sawed-off 12 gauge, a hatchet, and my SIG. Never had a problem. But my Democratic, period, hood, you better stay ready. You know, and I'm like, okay, man, like that's very political. If you feel that strongly, man, hey, make sure you get out to the polls and vote, bro. That's what I got to say to that comment. You know, yeah.
Hey, do you got a background delay? Can you hear it?
No, I don't. It's clear. For me, it's clear. And bro,
It's
you
like-
in HD.
It's like two different shows going on.
Okay. The chat, y'all give us some feedback. How we sounding to y'all in the chat? Hey, this one right here really touched me, man. This is more of a positive comment, y'all. And man, Papa Man, what's good, big dog? This one's a positive one, and this is a question I'm curious of, man. I ain't gonna put this person's name out either, man. Positive or negative. They said, "I see you dropping down in other people's chats, but they don't support you. So you need to look around and see who's really down for you. I'm just giving you my opinion of what I see from the people who are around you, blessing you to you and your blessings to you and your family." You know, that's heartfelt. You know, it took a lot of courage for that person to speak up and say something like that. You know, because we support everybody who support us. You know what I'm saying? And brother M1 Tony said the audio is good. Is good.
All right.
That's real though. I appreciate that, big bro. And yeah, man, it's people like that that's gonna keep the movement going, bro. It's not about numbers, man. If it was about numbers, bro, I would stoop to or do things that are against my personality, and it would be disingenuous to y'all. You know, I gotta be who I am at all times, and I gotta handle things the way I handle things at all times. You know, all my brothers are different. You know, brother M1 don't take no mess. He's straightforward, but we all straightforward. We just straightforward in our own way.
Yeah. Yeah, I try to, you know, I feel like that's the best policy, bro. Like that way there's no misunderstanding, and understanding is one of the best things in the world, man. Be straightforward with people. You know, you get straightforward results. I mean, most of the time. So that's why I practice being straightforward with it, keeping shit 100 and honest. And that's that. That's about as far as I can go with it. Anything else just ain't me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And so there's some misnomers I want to get corrected today too, man. You know, M1, you know, you're OG in the game, man. Y'all brothers in the chat, man, we about to rock out because it's always got to be about the dogs at some point, right? And so I'm gonna share some peds with y'all. There's no dog in these peds that I don't have in my pedigree, by the way. None of the dogs I'm gonna show y'all today are gonna be not in my pedigree. I can only talk about what I do and what I have. I can't be out here, you know what I'm saying, propagating what other people got, you know. And this dog right here is the format for me. Okay. This is Garner's Champion Chinaman. Now, mind you,
Yep.
I'm gonna share information with y'all. If it's inaccurate, this is not to spread misinformation. I'm gonna tell you what I've learned through hearsay, through research, and also through experience. Okay. And Chinaman is the propagator for it. He's the baseline for me. Okay. I was told, and I've read in many a forum, y'all know about Game Dog Forum and Pit Dog Forums back in the day, that Chinaman, after he died, was taken to, I want to say, the University of Texas. If I'm wrong, correct me. I will make the correction on the spot. But I was told it was University of Texas. And when they got there, they said he had the lung capacity of a greyhound. And they said that with his jaw structure, he would have been able to bite like an alligator. Now, mind you, that's an exaggeration. That's what's you call it? Figurative speech when it comes to biting like an alligator. But the lung capacity of a greyhound, that's a solid thing to say about a dog, you know, especially being he was such a great performer. Okay. The big hill in the building. What's good, big dog? All right. So these are the things that I've read from a letter from Dr. Woods about Chinaman. Okay. Chinaman, as a puppy, was nothing really special, and he traded hands a couple of times. Okay. The first time they took him to look at him, he was worming real bad. And when they put him on the other animal, he at first didn't perform well, but when he turned on, he made short work of that opponent in a row. Okay. Chinaman trades hands a couple more times. He ends up with Mr. Romero. I don't know how you pronounce his last name. I don't disrespect him, but Mr. R, what I'm gonna call him. Okay. He ends up with Mr. R, his campaign. And in his campaign, he makes short work of everything that he was put on. All right. Chinaman went at weights between the weights of 42 and 48. I'm assuming as he got older, he progressively got denser bones and was shown at heavier weights. Okay. Now, what got me about the Chinaman line was not his breeding, even though this is a heavy Eli breeding. All right. You got Eli Snooty. So you got mouth, and I would consider Snooty dogs more of a game line than a mouth line, although they can perform well and they're very durable. Snooty lost twice, but to campaign a dog that lost twice, to me, that indicates a dog that showed game every time out of 4 matches. Okay. Also, for those y'all who don't understand what we're talking about, these are historical dogs. These dogs have been long dead, and these dogs their lineage lives on whether I talk about it or not. All right. Okay. So Chinaman wins 4. Then he is moved hands again to Mr. Garner. On Mr. Garner's yard, Chinaman's bred several times, creating dogs of the like of China Rose, China Girl, and my favorite, Frisco. Okay. And that's the extent of my knowledge about Chinaman, other than some of the personality things. Now, some of the things I want y'all to ask when you're talking to a breeder is ask about the personality, not just the traits, but the personality of the dog. If a dog's personality does not match your personality, it's just, I look at it like a car almost. All right. Now, mind you, a car is an inanimate object and a dog is a living being. But what I'm saying is, okay, if you ever see me in my dream car, it's not going to be a Lamborghini Gallardo. It's going to be some hard body, American muscle. You know what I'm saying? Like the 1976 Chevy Nova. That's my shit. Okay. All of the old school Caprices, I like that. You know what I'm saying? That's what that to me is, it fits my personality. I'm a jock. You know what I'm saying? I had a leather jacket in high school. That's the way I see myself. You know, I'm going fast in a straight line. That's what I like. Brother Jake, welcome to the chat, bro. Salute. All right. And that's what the dog has to be. And Chinaman's personality, or what I'm about to share with you about his personality, is what I like in a dog. Okay. Chinaman was a very serious animal. He went into the front end and the brisket quite often. He also could switch it and go to the stifles if needed. One of the things that was quoted by all of his owners is that Chinaman would be an excited biter. When he saw his prey or he saw his opponent, Chinaman would nip at the handler to get away. Okay. To me, that's not man biting qualities. Those are characteristics of a dog that is driven to get to its prey by any means. I look at it the same way as if you got a dog that's in a fence or on a chain that goes to biting at the fence of the chain to get loose. That's drive. And for what I do with dogs, drive is everything. You can take a dog with great drive and have it do a lot. Wall climb, weight pull, slap mill races, hog hunting, protection work, It's really hard to take a driven dog to make it just a couch potato. That's gonna be real hard. But if you train hard enough, you can do that too. But I don't advise it. I advise heavily against that, getting a driven dog. But then when you got some way in on that.
Well, bro, like that's what we look for. But like you said, it ain't probably for everybody. And if you think that's what you want, do your homework, man. Please do your homework. That way, it's not another dog, in a bad situation. Because a high-driven dog is hard to maintain, man. And a lot of people do get it mixed up. They're gonna nip. They're gonna nip at you when they want to be turned loose. You see what I'm saying? Like you said, that's their eagerness to do what they, to get to whatever prey is in front of them. That's eagerness. It's not an aggressive bite to where I'm ripping you open and you're gonna turn me loose, you son of a bitch. No, it's more or less little nips like turn me loose, please, turn me loose, turn me loose. Remember, they don't got hands. So the way they communicate is with their mouth.
Yes, sir.
I totally agree.
Yes, sir. Well stated, my brother. Well stated. All right. So I'm gonna talk about some of the dogs in his pedigree for what I'm aware of. For Abernathy's Molly, I don't have a lot of information, y'all. I'm not about to sit here and bullshit you. With Wood Snooty, I told y'all what I know. Rugged dog, very, very game dog, shown four times officially. Two-time winner, two-time loser. Also in this pedigree, you're going to see Walling's Bully Son, two-time winner, one-time loser. Now, I'm going to go into Walling's Bully Son. We're going to talk about Bully Son as well, because this is another dog that I sought after, making sure it was in my pig. Okay. And here is Bully Son's pig. All right. Now, if you didn't pay attention to Chinaman's pedigree, Chinaman on his very, very top side, okay, the paternal sire side, right? Chinaman has Eli Jr. down from Eli. Okay. Now, on the Bully Son stuff, you notice that it's straight off of Eli to Spook. Okay. Now, Bully Son was known to be a biter, specifically when he was being transported. You would put him in a car and he would turn on and bite people. Additionally, when he traded hands, he was known to bite people. He actually bit one of the owner's wives. I'm not going to propagate which owner's wife it was, but it is a known story. Do your research, look in the forums. He bit a lady, okay? And this dog was still kept in the breeding programs. Obviously, there was something they saw that went beyond him being a man-biting animal, okay? Now, for my dogs, I looked for a percentage of Walling's Bully Son to be there. Also, Bully Son is in Chinaman's pedigree. That's why I brought it up, because it seems like they watered that trait down just enough to make it usable. However, the ability to nip and that ability to differentiate between predator and prey is kind of skewed still with his bloodline. Salute to Martinez, game dogs in the building. Salute to All Will Kennels of Carolina in the building. What's good, big dog? All right. Now, with these two dogs in my dog's pedigree, there's another Boudreaux line dog I want to talk about. And if y'all got these dogs, you're who I'm looking for. All right. And that dog is Maverick. Okay. One of the best dogs I ever owned. It was paperless. His father was papered. His mom was not papered. His mom was the midnight cowboy dog with a heavy influence of the Boudreaux's skull. All right. On the top side was a pure Chinaman dog. So I call that dog a Chinaman Maverick dog, but obviously it was a Chinaman Boudreaux line dog. That dog was a red-nosed dog that looked almost identical to Chinaman. All right. So you take Chinaman, make him red with a red nose, and that's what that dog looked like. He had the structure, and this dog could spring over my head. I'm talking about standing flat-footed. This dog, if I had a tug in my hand, this dog could literally jump over my head to get a tug, and I'm 6'1". Okay. The athleticism of these dogs is outrageous. So for those of y'all who do wall climb, these are some of the things I look for in a dog. Look at Chinaman's structure, the roach back, that tight back end with lightweight. Of course, this dog gonna have bunnies. Okay. Of course, this dog can bite, because the core, if you look at his abdominal structure, the core of this dog says that when he bites and tugs on something, he's applying pressure. All right. And that's just phenotypically looking at the animal. That's not seeing it in action. That's just phenotype only. All right. So then you move forward. Now I'm gonna look at the offspring because we're gonna just run down some dogs in this pedigree. We're gonna talk dogs, and I'm gonna share information with y'all. There's also a video clip I want to share with y'all if I can find it to show y'all about Frisco for everybody on the Frisco train or the Frisco hate train. All right, this is Garner's Frisco Rom registered mirror. All right, Frisco is Chinaman bred to Romero's China Girl. All right, now. If you look behind China Girl, you're going to see that you have Patrick's Whitehead Commander, which is off of Indian Bolio, to Patrick's Crazy Lady. And that's being double bred down on that stuff. All right. To Patrick's Tuffy. Okay. Double bred on Bolio. There's also some more Snooty in there, but that's not an additive because obviously Snooty was in China. All right. But with Frisco, a lot of people said Frisco was a cold dog. And what I'm here to share with y'all is that Frisco was not a cold dog. Frisco was gifted to Tom after Chinaman passed away from Vinny or Vince Romero, all right, or Mr. M. When Frisco was given to Tom, it was my belief that Tom just wanted to preserve the lineage of the dog, and Tom, does not propagate himself to be a box man. So, what I think he was trying to do was to hold on to some blood that he really loved. Now, when I look at Frisco right here in this picture, Frisco is what I would call a pet. It was kept at pet weight right here, but there's a story I want to share with y'all about Frisco, and I don't want to tell the story because I might mess it up. What I want to do is I want to share with y'all a video of a person who claims to have had Frisco. And if you're a real bulldog, I'm certain you've already seen this video. But I want to make sure that we put it out there and that the stories are being told appropriately. I have no reason to not believe that this is a true story. And it kind of coincides with what the production of Frisco was. All right. Now, those who actually saw Frisco in action said that when he was rode one time, that he bit even harder than his father. All right. They said he bit even harder than his father. And so what that tells me is that Frisco might have been why people bred him so much and why he was bred so often, because they were trying to add mouth to what they already had. All right. And with that Bolio being there, that he had the ability to wrestle well. He was an intelligent animal. That's one of the things I sought after, because I was taught that Bolio is a very, very smart and rugged animal. All right, I'm gonna post this video. We're gonna watch it, and I'm gonna let the powers that be tell y'all the story. All right, I found the video on here. Shouts out to everybody who rocking with us. Hold on, just a second. Let me fix this. All right. And when you got anything to weigh in on while I'm getting my life together over here?
Yeah, man. We used to run that Brujo stuff in Maverick, and that's when I fell in love with it. You know what I'm saying? The Chinaman shit back then, it was all that back then, man. It was really good shit. The performance, the natural wind, the mouth, and when I'm talking about natural wind, boy, them suckers come off the chain. You can hunt with them all afternoon. You can get out there all evening and hunt with them. They just keep going through the woods, keep going through the woods, keep going through the woods. They were some good dogs, man. And over the years, I seen it change, and they started getting bred all type of different ways. Some of them was good, turned out good. Some of them not so good. But that Brujo stuff in there always made it just kick. It set it off even more. It was good. It's good. It was real good back in the day. And I was fond of that shit too. So we basically was trying to get back to the same thing, the same type of performance dog, same type of athlete. It's just those traits in the dog I can't never forget. And I had them around so long, and I had so many people around me that had it all type of different ways. But blended that way with the Maverick and all that stuff. Hey, it was good shit, bro. It was good.
Yes, sir.
And another
Hey,
thing you could tell about them that I'm gonna add one more thing. You could always tell out of all the years and litters of dogs that we bred, none of them come out nothing but black and white. Black with the white chest and maybe the white socks. Every last one of them never came out nothing but black and white, bro. Never.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, y'all, before I play this video, this is subject to the fair use policy on YouTube. This is from a channel, Lucky Lopez. It's a public video. I will not share a private video that is sent to me or unlisted video that is sent to me without express consent from the owner. This is for historical and educational purposes only. The name of the video is The True Story of Garner's Frisco Rom, told by V. Romeo, the man who bred him and owned him. Without further ado, y'all, here's the video.
Bunny Hunter took best in show for 17 months. China girl, better me, brother. He took best in show up in North.
Hold on, y'all. Let me let it buffer real
back
quick.
to, Colorado.
Let me let it buffer real quick, y'all. I'm on that McDonald's Wi-Fi. Also, thumbs up in the chat if y'all can hear the video. I want to make sure y'all can hear the video. All right, here we go, y'all.
California. I go, man, I need to breed the sister. And the more I thought about it, I decided to bring it back to her father, Chinaman. I sent China girl to Tom Garner. He stuck it to China and sent it back to me. And those pups were born. There's only 2 males out of that litter. And about 4 females, I believe. And 1 male was black and 1 was buckskin. So Rough Greenwood, my buddy, called me up. He knew about that litter pups. He goes, if you want to, I give you put an ad on the Gazette for free. So he gave me a whole page for free. With as soon as that Gazette come out, within 2 days, I had to change my phone number. My phone was ringing day and night. So if I had 100 pups, I could have sold 200. So I only sold 3 out of that litter. I keep the rest. Terry Lejeune came from Louisiana and bought Chinatown. And I keep Frisco. He wanted the black one, so I had to keep Frisco. Curtis Mayfield came and bought 2 females. When they were about 6 months, a bitch got up the chain and killed those 2 pups of Curtis. Terry, he schooled the dog out, and he won 2 matches with him. On the second match, he went to a grand champion, and Chinatown had 2 broken legs. People were bet 1,000 to 100 that he won't be able to complete a scratch. When Terry let him go, he went on. He pushed himself forward with his chest and his back leg, and then under, he grabbed the dog belly and killed him. And he won his match. He was only bred 1 time, and he produced grand champion racks. People dumps out. It's got a lot of those dogs around. Anyway, Jim Freitas came over my house when those pups were about 9 weeks, and he wanted to raise one of those pups. I told him, go ahead and take this male, and if he turned out, we go half and a half. When the male was about 1 year old, he took him up in Oregon to ADBA show, and he tried to sell the dog. Well, Lenny Miller and Kelly Fee called me up about the dog. I just told them, just make sure nobody will buy him. So Tuesday morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, I went over Freitas' house. I picked up the dog, Frisco, and I took her home. I believe I left $100, $200. I don't remember, on his porch in an envelope. And I raised the dog up. I sent him back to Oregon to Kelly Fee's house. We got together over there, and we roll him. Kelly already bumped once with Terry, and they called me up. They told me the dog beat as hard as Chinaman did. I didn't believe him. You know how the story goes. I thought it was bullshit. So I went up to Oregon a few months later, and we all got together. There was a guy named Vince, from Canada was there. Cali Fee was there, a bunch of us. So I want to roll Frisco, and we would roll a bunch of dogs. And they go, oh, no, that dog bites too hard. We don't want nothing to do with him. And then there was a guy there, I forget his name now. He's the guy that lost into China Boy. Girly Crumb China Boy. Later, he sold it to Gary Hammonds. The dog went an hour and 25, I believe, and was pick up game. So he said, I'd like to put that dog in Frisco. I still have him. I go, that's fine, bring him. Well, Frisco killed him in 7 minutes inside the pit. So I took the dog home. Next step, I want to roll him some more. I need to see some time on him. I took him in Nevada, in Winnemucca, Nevada. A guy named Hint, Jim Hint, he had about 50 dogs. He brought a big, huge 52-pound dog. I believe it was a son of Jeep. And he went through him like maybe 6-7 minutes. The dog was completely out. He'd pick him up and drag him out of the pit. So I had Liver Red with me on that time. It belonged to Tom Garner. He was sold to go to China. So I wanted to see Frisco time, so I put Liver Red in him. And at 22 minutes, Liver Red was in his way out. His tongue was blue, and his eyes were all red. So Lenny Miller, my corner man, my vet, my personal vet, he goes, if you don't pick him up now, I won't be able to save him. I sure did. We broke him up. And great Tavares, he's the one that handled Liver Red. And I believe, I don't remember. I think Mike, I don't remember. He handled Frisco. Well, I did. I don't remember. But anyway, he was able to save Liver Red. He was a good vet. Then I opened him up for a match. And while he was open for a match, Tom Garner gave me a call. He said, Chinaman's dead. So I decided to send Frisco to my friend Tom Garner. And thanks to Tom Garner, he made him a big ROM. And the rest is history. That's all I could tell you guys. If you guys believe it, fine. If you guys don't believe me, go. You're always going to be there. Believe always somebody that tells stories. Bullshit. If you're a true gentleman, true dog man, you should believe a dog man, not somebody that don't even own dogs or anything like that. The story that Chainsaw wrote, it's a bunch of bullshit. It was over by the peak because Bob Fritz, I talked to Bob Fritz to help Chainsaw to sell some peak. So they were making that peak. Chainsaw abused Bob. Never gave him any money for 2 years. And
that's where I ascertain the information from. That's my reference. Y'all know I don't like to post nothing without reference. And yes, sir, Solo, you're talking about Frisco. And I wanted to share that with y'all because there's a lot of great information out there. There's a lot of contradictory information out there. But one thing is certain, you either hate them or you love them. And when you got a good one, you got a good one. All right. For those of y'all who are at the picking, Mr. Romeo or Romero, however you pronounce it, was there. And you could have heard his voice to corroborate or not corroborate what was said. Also, if you're going to the picking this year, I'm pretty sure he'll be back. You know, he was the guest judge last year. I'm pretty sure he'll be back because him and Tom are very good friends. This is not lost on us that they're very good friends. Okay. So I wanted to share that with y'all. For those of y'all who may not have seen that video, but I'm pretty sure most Bulldoggers have seen that video, you know. But this is one of the things that makes me even more proud about the dogs behind my lineage, hearing that, because what I've seen and my stuff is washed out. Frisco, you know, it's there, but it's not like second or third generation, you know. And what they say about the mouth is very, very consistent, you know. This is why I say, man, you know, until you experience it, you just don't know. You know, I would say that I could understand why people would say these dogs have a time clock. A lot of them are not long-winded. And I would say that even from the stories that you hear, most of them were ending their opponents fast. So if you had something that could stand, you know, that could rope-a-dope them, like a Red Boy or Red Boy Jocko dog, I could see why they would perform well against this type of dog if they could weather the storm. You know,
Yeah, if they can take that punishment,
yeah,
that's a gruesome punishment. Finishing dogs in 7 minutes, 6 minutes. You got to be a good goddamn dog, because one bite is all it takes. You can leak out and you're through.
yeah,
So you got to
yeah.
think about it. Take a dog that can take a beating, boy.
And having that crushing power, man, it's gonna be a lot easier to hit vitals. You know, it's gonna be a lot easier to hit
Yes,
vitals,
sir.
man.
Yes, sir. One bite. And he can work that sound bitch and you struggling trying to get out of it. Ooh, you ain't doing nothing but making it worse. Before you know it, you got a limp dog.
Yes, sir. Yeah, man. But I had to share that with y'all, bro. I had to, because if I don't, then you know, it might not get shared the way I want it shared. You know, these are all historical things, man. This is not to incriminate anybody, man. Like, y'all know we don't do that mess over here, man. All of these
No,
stories
sir.
are also public knowledge. Like, you can Google them. You know what I mean? I'm not putting it out and pray to God, you know, ain't nobody got no open cases going on with none of this stuff that is being talked about or propagated. And if it is, let me know. We'll shut this segment down and move on to the next segment, yo. It's all love over here, man. It's all love, man. We're gonna spread love, we're gonna spread peace, we're gonna spread history and understanding. But that's just what it do, you know. Man, my brother Solo, but connected, but almost in here, man. I see you, Solo. Waiting for you to come through, bro. But yeah, so that's from the Garner side. Now let me go ahead and pull up for y'all another dog that gets a lot of flack that I want to share with y'all. A lot of flack, you know. And I personally, like, I just shut up, you know. I shut up about this one because, you know, a lot of people getting their feelings when you contradict what they're saying, but you got to go off of the grades. You know what I'm saying? The valedictorian ain't picked as a valedictorian because they was the prettiest person in class. They picked because they had the highest grade point average in class. You know, and that's what it is. All will, man. Salute to you, big bro. And you put out some phenomenal content. And I want to ask your permission right here. You know, you can hit me up in the back chat, or you can hit me up on the book. But anytime you post, bro, I ain't seen you do nothing flawed yet. So, you know, as long as it's 100, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna share y'all videos, and I'm gonna make sure that y'all getting those views and getting that support that you need, because that channel needs to grow. Okay. That channel needs to grow. Vernon Star, salute, big dog. Hey, man. And this is another dog that's in my pedigree, you know, down from that Woodle stuff, or excuse me, coming through the Woodle stuff, from that Weird Jack blood. And this is Grand Champion Crenshaw's Blackjack Rom. All right. Now, I'm going to share with y'all anecdotal evidence, what I've seen in posts, what I've talked to about people who have owned the Blackjack dogs. And if y'all got anything to refute it, go ahead and share. This is the time to go ahead and clear it up, because I don't want to put out bad info. But if you don't got nothing, you know, and it comes back later, we can readdress it. Like, this stuff is history. You know what I'm saying? It's just like looking at the French and Indian War, the Revolutionary War, World War I, World War II. This is before I was born. All right. These all these things happened before I was even born. What's good, Arrowhead? All right. So Crenshaw's Blackjack. Another dog that, like Imran said, was showing that black and white stuff, even though it came out off of some buckskin dogs. You know, Rodriguez Gator, great dog. Crenshaw's Black Girl, great dog. Big Casey, love the Big Casey blood, man. Love it. You know, and he's coming down also off of Garrett White's Tab. As we all know, Tab was a pure Jeep to pure Red Boy dog. All right. And that White's Tab to me, the White's Tab is to the Jeep line what Frisco is to the Chinaman line. Both Chinaman and Frisco being the same number of generations removed from Eli. All right. So you're looking at great grandchildren of Eli that both produced very similarly when bred to a dog that had some wind. Chinaman was taken to Bolio, and Jeep was taken to Red Boy. All right. And I just think there's amazing correlations there between the amount of Kobe involved in there, between the amount of Carver involved in there. All right. I think it's an amazing correlation. You know, I'm not saying that one is better than the other. I have both of them in my pedigree for a reason. And now we're gonna talk about this Blackjack dog. What's good, brother Solo?
What's good, bro? Sorry, I was having some technical difficulties, but I was able to get on up in here, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I just wanted to touch on thing. you know, it was a rumor that Frisco was a cur and all this shit. I don't believe that, man. You know, I believe what Vinny said. I believe what Fat Bill said, because we know that these men had access to good dogs, and you know, these ain't no broke people either. You know, they have money. So why would they base it off of a curve for one, and then why would they lie about it? You know. So I think Frisco was a monster, personally.
Exactly. Yeah, he was a monster. Definitely a monster. Destroyer.
Now, I got a chance to see some dogs, not right off Frisco, but you know, Frisco in them, and you know, they was biting too. You know, so
Right.
you know, I got a jib now that got a lot of Frisco in her. You know, and you know, it is what it is, man. I believe them some bulldogs, man. If you get the right one, you know, you get the right one, man. They that's a hell of a dog to go into, man, on any level, you know.
For sure. For sure. But you know, like Dre was saying, you gotta, like you saying, and Dre was saying too, but we all saying you gotta get them off the good shit. But them dogs, from what I seen, what we done seen, they ain't winded. They just ain't got, they don't carry the wind, the lung capacity. That's the only thing. But if you cross it out right, you can do good. You can do good with them. I believe so too.
I don't
M1,
know.
you
Some
hit
of
the
them
nail
dogs
on
got a
the
good
head.
recovery, you know, some of them got a good recovery system, man. You know, they burn themselves out, and then they pace themselves, and then they snap back like new. You know, them some dangerous dogs too, man. As much as I
Yeah, I
love the
mean,
naked dogs and all them
you get the
kind of
right
dogs,
conditioning.
man, them dogs is dangerous, man. You get that
Yeah,
Eli, get to crossing it up, you're gonna get some dangerous shit, man.
you get the right conditioner that can work with the dog willing to work. Yeah, it's a lot of good dogs could be made, but at the same time, it travels down, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to cross it out. That's all I'm saying. You know, to get better product. That's all I'm saying, because the mouth is there. The mouth is there, but you're gonna be lacking wind if you don't cross it out. You know.
Facts. Hey, and first of all, Mike Dan, salute to you, bro. You're doing a phenomenal job co-hosting over there at Fat Bills, man. And you're right. Mr. Crenshaw did say it was the best dog. Correction, that's Arrowhead. James did say Blackjack was the best overall dog he ever had. Also, I want to share this with y'all before I go into talking about Blackjack in detail. All right. There wasn't a single match that Blackjack went into that went over an hour. His longest being 47 minutes. That was his last one. All right. And I'm pretty sure by then they were only going to put a caliber of dog that they thought could beat him. Okay. So that's the first thing we want to talk about. And then going into what Brother M1 and Brother Solo was saying with the wind, we see that Blackjack was a cross. Okay. Blackjack is crossed up very similar to how Mayday was crossed up. Not the same lines, but using the same strategy. We want to take the best of the best, put them together, and come up with a performance animal. And boom, you got a grand champion. I don't think that was coincidental. What y'all brothers got us? How y'all brothers weighing in on that one?
Shit is just like Big Bro and them say. It's a formula to that shit, and it is definitely a formula to it. If you catch the formula, it's an amazing thing. But it's definitely a formula to science to it, man. You can't just stick anything, man. You got to be looking for the best of the best, and people with traits that you have and with traits you're trying to achieve to put with that, you know. But it's a science to it, though. Big Bro and them hit it on the head. I'm telling you, I believe in what they say, and I know that to be a fact.
Yeah, like produces like, man. You know, and looking at that pedigree. Not saying every dog with that pedigree is gonna be like Blackjack, but it's not a surprise that, you know, he turned out to be what he was. I mean, look at that pedigree, bro. Look at all the gene pools that he pulling from, and it just merged together. And that's what we
the science right there. That's the formula right there, laid out in front of you, right in front of us. That's the formula. And if you look at it right and long enough, you'll see the underlayer. on what was really in going on in their heads. Just look at it. It's some good. It's amazing, you know.
You can see where the game is coming from. You can see where the mouth may be coming from. You know, you see everything that he showed. You can see, you know what I'm saying, in those dogs from his lineage. You know what I mean?
It shows. It's right there for you. You see how they kept the consistency of the best of the best. They're gonna keep that mouth. They're gonna keep the game.
Yes, sir. Now, question for all y'all. Arrowhead brought up a good point. Is Rascal blood on there? And I want to share this with y'all. Okay. And this for those of y'all who hate on brothers who line breed or heavy inbreed. How can you identify a trait if you always have a cross? How can you homogenize that trait? How can you homogenize that type of animal if you're crossing up constantly? It's hard to, from a breeder's perspective, to identify what dog is bringing what. And I'll give you an example. Okay. I've seen 1 million pit bulls American Pit Bull Terriers get bred by a rank cur or a mutt. Okay. And the puppies come out and they display characteristics of that mutt, typically a chow chow or a lab or something like that. You know, something you got running around the yard, a hound dog, and they display traits of that American Pit Bull Terrier. And the one that I saw that was most impressive to me was a Cruise Rocky offspring that got bred by some mutt in the neighborhood. And I watched these puppies grow up. And when I tell you they used to wreck, they wrecked until they started killing each other. Okay. And until they got about 6 months, they looked purebred. Then, you know, the fur got longer and the tails was wonky. But these dogs had a lot of the American Pit Bull Terrier qualities in them. But the one thing that I would say was a little different was the way they responded to people. They weren't skittish animals. They were super like, they would cower. They would run up to you, you know, pee on themselves, but they would wreck another animal, you know. And I would say they lack the confidence and the springiness of that American Pit Bull Terrier because that cur, that mutt that was bred to him that was running around the neighborhood would do the same thing. That's a trait that came straight, like you can literally see it happening for another generation off of a dog that wasn't even an American Pit Bull Terrier. And you can see the American Pit Bull Terrier traits from that Rocky dog that would kill another animal quickly. All right. And so if you keep crossing it up too much, you can't identify what it is that your dog is bringing to the table. So with the Frisco stuff, I think we can all agree that it's bringing mouth. All right. And if we understand that we're bringing mouth, and then Brother Vernon Starr made a very, very valid post. A lot of them was rank curs. And I've made this statement before. In the Carolinas where I'm from, a lot of the street dog men that were not gentlemen in the game, they were just like, you know, they were just rolling dogs in the backyard. They didn't scratch. What they actually did was called country style. And a lot of the breeders that handle dogs like that are heavy in the mouth, I would say that you should probably let people know how they were tested. You know, were they tested by Cajun rules, by Mr. Armitage's rules, or were they just country style rolled? You know, country style, you put it out and you let them go. There's no turns called, no fouls called until somebody quits or somebody is dead. And with a lot of these heavy mouth dogs, they're killers. And gameness, I would say, is if you're looking for gameness, go to a line that is bred and propagated on being game. That's why you see a lot of Chinaman Red Boy crosses nowadays. That's why you see a lot of Eli Red Boy crosses nowadays. That's why you see a lot of Bolio being added in there. You can find it in the right amounts and the right strands of Bolio. But that's just my take on it, brothers. I'm gonna put the mic down and let y'all cook.
Well, shit. Like the proof is in the pudding, man. You gotta see what you got. You got to be able to identify what is good about what you done put down and what's flawed and what's bad about it. You know, that way you know what to add, if it's even worth it. See what I'm saying? If you got something that's even worth it, that's how you're gonna find out. You're gonna have to stay within your family of dogs. See exactly what you get, what they bring to the table. Then what you're lacking, and you go for what you lacking through the cross, man. That's how I would do it.
Hey man, and then I got to give another shout out to Brother Vernon, man. Brother Vernon, you cooking today, bro? Salute to you. He said, "I lie to you not. If you happen to get a good one, they don't reproduce themselves historically, but those were gamblers' choice." Hey man, the same way I agree that even as a young man in the game, I learned very early that red boy dogs were pretty much the novice standard. If you're gonna get in the game, you should probably get your red boy Jocko, or red boy Jeep Rascal dog. Or Red Boy Outlaw, but something like that don't take a lot of handler's ability to get out and perform. If you want to go to the drag strip and buy a car off the lot, I would tell you to go get a Dodge Demon. Go get you that Challenger Demon, because off the lot that thing comes with tires. You can drive it straight to the drag strip and probably do well. Whereas if you got that 76 Nova that I was talking about, you're going to have to know what you're doing, because they don't make parts for that no more. You're going to have to retrofit some things. You're going to have to get you a crate motor probably. And that car is not going to be street legal. It's going to be exactly what it was bought for. And you got to be a specialist to handle a vehicle like that. Whereas that Demon is street legal, but it can still do work. Okay. And it's a lot of bulldoggers that's in the cars. That's why I'm using cars as an analogy. I'm not comparing the animals to the cars. I'm just giving you a metaphor and an analogy that correlates well to what we're talking about. Brother Elevator said that type cross is basically what I got from Mason and Medusa. Hey, shouts out to you, bro. And brother Elevator had a phenomenal litter this year. And shouts out to all y'all brothers who had litters this year. Make sure they go to the right hands. That's why my dogs for the next couple of generations will be going to me and my brothers to look at them and establish them as hog hunting dogs, or or slap mill dogs or whatever. And we show our stuff online, man. We do that intentionally because just because we talk this talk, man, we don't want anybody getting misconstrued. We just enjoy the history of the dogs. And I have to keep constantly saying that, because people will come in at different parts of the video, they hear a sound bite and run with it. Okay, so I just keep putting it out there. It's not to drown y'all with disclaimers and BS. It's just when I'm going to talk about the history of them, it has to be just that, a history. That's just like if somebody's talking about the 1940s in America, there was some mess in there that people ain't gonna like to hear, but it's there. Okay, it's there. All right, now on to Blackjack. All right, so we already know to be a grand champion, he had to won 5. He won 5, all of them in less than an hour. Mr. Crenshaw himself said it was the best produced dog you can ever see. And one of the things I want to bring to your attention is this dog is built very similar to the dog that I showed you first, Chinaman. That phenotype obviously produces quite well. Another thing I want to bring to your attention is the structure of this animal is very similar to Mayday to me. That he's a slimmer frame dog than a Mayday dog. Don't get it twisted. I'm not saying that there's any kind of what you call it, no kind of lineage that affects that. What I'm getting at is the structure of dogs that win. Okay, the structure of dogs that were winners. And when I look at him, I see a heavier front end than the back end, but still a sturdy back end on this animal. All right. Now, as far as Gator's personality, I don't have stories on Gator's personality like I have on Chinaman. Actually the Gator and the Blackjack stuff, I didn't start even researching it until I bred to a dog that had it in there. I just knew that the camp I got it from had working dogs. Mr. Whittle had working dogs. And I wanted to know more about the dogs that I had in my pedigree. So I wanted to find out what they had in common with what I already had. And what I've noticed is through Frisco, through Chinaman, through Blackjack, through all of these dogs I'm mentioning to y'all today, they all finished their opponents quickly. They were finishers. They were not. I can't tell you if they were game or not based upon their contest, because they outperformed their opponents so well. And I'm gonna drop the mic back to my brothers.
Go ahead, Solo. I'm gonna let you handle that.
I mean, it speaks for itself, man. I'm not really familiar with the Blackjack blood itself. I don't know if I ever actually seen any of that specific, strain, but the Jeep Red Boy Rascal itself speaks for itself, man.
Oh yeah.
I think when you first do a cross, you get what's called hybrid vigor, right? But after a while, it kind of reverts to like what's the word I'm looking for? Like the original Mayday dogs, right? They was known for being rougher, you know, but as they started breeding the Mayday dogs longer, they just basically became game average to below average mouth type dogs, right? So then
Right.
that's when people started breeding more of the Eli in it. Same thing with the Jeep Red Boy Rascal. You know, when they first started breeding the Jeep with the Red Boy, them dogs was punching. But after a while, you started just getting more like gamer, average mouth kind of dogs. And that's when they came with the Rascal in there. You know what I'm saying? Which added a hybrid vigor to the Jeep Red Boy, making rougher dogs. You know?
Understood.
Like you get that hybrid vigor in like that first generation or the second generation, but as you keep breeding along that same line, the hybrid vigor kind of leaves and you just kind of get just like a regular, or it kind of normalizes. You know what I mean?
And that's what you're looking for. It's gonna deplete, but you have to be able to notice right then and there where it goes bad. And that's where you don't go no further. That's when you go out. And that's where you're looking for what you lacking. That's why you stay within your family to notice what traits is gonna stick with it. But once it starts going bad, starts displaying more bad characteristics, you don't go no further. That's it right there.
I don't know
That
if I
way,
necessarily even. Go ahead, brother. Sorry about that.
I'm just saying that way you got the best of the best of what you had. You see what I'm saying? Of what you done bred. You done gave it time to grow up and see what make the cut and what don't make the cut. All right. You done went back far enough with it down the line with it to where you see the consistency and where you done begin to lose it at. See what I'm saying? That's just me. That's how I look at it. Then that's when I go elsewhere to gain what I'm lacking.
Well stated, brother. Well stated. All right, y'all. Got another one. And I couldn't find the reference video for this one, but I will share the reference video for y'all. This is Champion Garner's Dynamite. All right. And there's a lot of controversy behind this dog right here. But I'll tell you this. I didn't even start looking at Dynamite dogs until Brother Triple J mentioned it. It's a video probably 5 years ago now. And when Triple J stamped it, I said, let me look into this. And I don't regret it at all. At all.
Right.
Looking at the structure of this animal right here, man, he looks like an athlete. And he is phenotypically, to me, perfect. Like look at the power when he's driving. So I don't know if y'all ever heard of types, but as far as styles, right? And growing up, I was taught you want a red boy jocko and you wanted to be a head dog. That's what I was taught from a mentor of mine, right? So that's what I thought was the apex of the breed. All right. Then I found out about brisket or chess dogs, and I found out that there's dogs that they'll do what's called countering. Now, countering is a dog training term, but I'm going to share this with y'all, brothers, for those of y'all who might not know what countering is. When a dog is biting on a sleeve or something, right, and it just has the front teeth biting, what us dog trainers that do protection work do, and this is what shepherds or any dog that does bite work, you want a dog that counters well and counters and targets the same spot for the safety of the decoy, which means that dog is not going to come off one bite on the arm and then try to go for a person's face because that's unsafe for the person in the suit. Okay, so what we look for is a dog that counters. And what that means is he doesn't have a good hold. So what he'll do is he'll drive. And I was taught those in the game, those are called dig dogs. They'll just start digging into an area. And a lot of yard accidents happen with dig dogs. You'll see a cavity torn out of the animal they killed, whether it be a chain accident or, just a dog park accident. And this dog, looking at his rear end, I would say I know this dog is a dig dog, just looking off of where his power is coming from. His back end is retarded. All right? It's retarded.
Well structured, very well structured dog.
And coming from Triple J, who does a lot of hog hunting, I would say that that Bolio, this heavy in at Frisco, gives this dog a lot of win. Now I don't know much about his record as far as his history, but looking here, you see Chinaman, Wind of Greyhound. Then you go down, you see Frisco. So you know there's Bolio here, and you got that Scooter Red stuff right here. All right, Bolio again, Tombstone, Bolio again, and that's just going down off of Payne's Scooter Red, 4-time winner. Also, you notice this pedigree is pretty much lit up with the exception of China Girl, whose parents were lit up. All right. So I think it's a well-structured, well-put together dog. And once again, like I always give this disclaimer. I don't care if there is Red Boy here and present in this dog personally. Personally, I don't care. Now, mind you, for those of y'all who are trying to breed for lion breeding, it is extremely important that you have accurate pedigrees so you can properly document the history, science, and breeding practices behind this dog. But if this dog does have some of that red man blood in it, then it worked, and it worked. I don't care. Just like with Red Boy, if Red Boy has other stuff in it, I don't care because the line after was successful.
Yeah, it's a rumor going around that he put some of that Cottonhams in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wouldn't care, you know. I think people were saying that because maybe the puppies was coming out so hot, you know what I'm saying, and so intense. Whereas a lot of the Eli type of dogs, you know, a lot of times you got to like click them on. You got to wait for them to grow up and kind of click them on. From what I'm hearing of them Dynamite dogs, they acting like Mayday dogs or something at 3-4 months. You know what I'm saying? You got to separate them. So that's what I think a lot of people saying there's some Red Boy in there, you know. I don't know, but I wouldn't care. You know,
I wouldn't give a damn either.
Now, if it didn't work, that's a completely different story. And but it worked. You know what I'm saying? But it worked. Whatever it is, it worked. And that's why I always advocate for those of y'all who are breeders or letting stuff go. I know you don't want to give up your sauce. It's not part of the game to give up your sauce. But for the purposes of keeping the line going in its true form, in its pure form, some of that sauce has to be spilled ever so often. All right. It has to be spilled ever so often to the right people.
What if you can consistently get the intensity and the fire and the quick start type of attitude of the Red Boy type dogs with the mouth and the punch of the Frisco or the Eli type dogs consistently? That's a bad dog, man.
Yeah.
That is a bad line of dogs.
Hey,
but if you don't know the formula, then it'll be gone like poop. If you don't know the breeding formula, it ain't gonna last forever. It ain't gonna even last long. That formula gives that blood that you wanted and accomplish, maintain it. It gives it longevity. That's what that formula do. It allows you to prolong the lifespan of them dogs.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, and speaking of that, man, shouts out to Buck City. He mentioned they were talking about the oldest dogs that they've ever seen. And some people were saying teens. I knew a dog. This is no BS. I knew a dog that lived to be 22 years old. He was a Red Boy Paladin dog owned by my friend, Mr. Wade Yarborough. And this dog was a big Mayday built style dog. That's the phenotype, not Mayday, but that's the phenotype on this dog. And of course, Grand Champion Yellow was in the top side. But this is, I wish Pimps Over Simps was here because I used to go to his yard. This is the yard where my dogs, if they weren't acting right, I would leave them on the yard. I would just have him put him out on his chain setups and let the dog just watch his dogs. And when I would bring that dog back to my yard, because it was around all them super hot, nonstop game animals, the dog would take on the characteristics of that yard. And then I would bring it back, and that dog would be hot as fish grease. Okay.
That's what Trina did.
Oh, go ahead and share the story.
That's what Trina did. Being on Bray Yard, she started trying to mimic and copy the dogs over there. You know, I had kept her away from dogs. She was just a baby. But when she got to going over there, she started really understanding how to be a dog. And she picked up a lot of those, you know, characteristics from being over there.
Yes, sir. I'll give y'all another example. I'll give y'all another trade secret. Okay. Every couple of generations, I'll go get a dog that's already grown that I know is hot and just keep it around my dogs and stuff because my dogs are more laid back. They're American Pit Bull Terriers, but they're more laid back. I got a Waccamaw Red Boy Jocko dog, and she's hot as fish grease, right? And obviously, I had to move her off the yard because she ended up getting a yard accident and causing some serious damage and getting damaged very bad on my yard. But that dog being there and always making those other dogs have to act out, it spiced my yard up a little bit. And that wasn't even adding to the blood. That was just waking up was already inside of the animals, you know. And then like a week after she came on the yard, we started getting all kind of dead animals on the chain spots, you know. My dogs, you know, they would let cats, you know, come up to the edge of the chain spot, you know, they would bark out and stuff. But then they got smart. They watched her, and what she would do is she would sit in the doghouse and she would pull her bowl in every day. She pulled her bowl in a little bit more until the bowl was inside of her chain spot. And she one day she was laying in the house and the cat came up and, you know, the cat's licking water out of her bowl, and she ran out and hit that cat and killed it. Next thing I know, I got dead cats all over the yard because the other dogs watched and learned.
Yeah, that'll do it. That's why it's easier to train a new puppy if you already got a dog that's trained.
Facts.
It's always been easier for me to train my puppies, just let my puppies mimic the older dog. Simple.
Yes.
Monkey see, monkey do, man.
That's
I
right.
got a situation right now.
They're just like children.
Oh, go ahead, brothers.
No, you can't.
I got a situation right now, right, where I recently got a slap meal, you know what I'm saying, to be able to exercise my dogs, you know, in the wintertime when it's snow and ice out and all of that, right? So my house dog, of course, being that she's in the house with me, she's the first one that learned how to run the meal. You know what I'm saying? And then my male, he learned it. My other female, she was slow to learn it. You know, she was crawling on it and it was kind of like weird. So I put her in the cage and I put my bitch that I keep in the house on the meal and let her see her run it, right? So I'm praising her and she running, you know what I mean? And literally today, and now after I did that, I put the female that I keep in the house outside, and I brought that female that I keep outside and put her on the meal, and now she walking on it. So she showed improvement just by seeing another dog get praised for doing right on it. And then literally just today, it's the first day that she actually took some steps just walking on it. Like, so it's kind of monkey see, monkey do with dogs, man. If they see another dog doing something, especially if you praise them for it, they gonna want that praise, you know.
That's right.
Hey man, I gotta give a big shout out, man. A legend just came in the building, man. Mr. Garcia, what's good, big dog?
Hey, how you doing, Samurai? Good show. Good show.
Hey, Garcia. What's up,
hey,
bro?
how's it going, brother? Welcome to everybody in the chat. I just saw these fine salute. I just saw these fine gentlemen make some good points, and I was thinking maybe I could add a little bit.
Please do.
Okay. The first thing was, it's three things. Hopefully I'll remember them. When you mentioned, you know, when with the Jeep Red Boy Rascal, you know, how it had that progression. And that's what'll happen with any bloodline. You know, you make the cross, you have that hybrid vigor, and then you line breed it, and then it becomes less than what it originally was, right? So you add another outcrop, trying to improve, right?
Yep.
And then kind of along what Samurai was saying, everything that's done with the dogs, whatever you use it for, stems from the dogfighting community. All the traits, all the work ethic, all the whether you're hunting with a dog, whatever you're doing with it, weight pull, all that. That's where all that stuff comes from. Dogfighting community in the past. And then the other point was made where, as you get that depletion or you get that normalcy or that average, right? You want to add crosses into it to improve on it, right? And that's true. But
Yes, sir.
what I tried to do and what I noticed is you don't have to wait for you to lose something to add that cross. You add it when you see something you like, you add it when you want it. And that kind of negates that losing part of traits, right? So as you move forward, as you're building your family, you're going to have to add this and add that and develop your family of dogs. And then you're going to line breed, inbreed, right? And when you lose something, you're going to outcross. You want to get past that point where you can still line breed, inbreed, and outcross without losing too much, right? That's the advancement. That's the improvement. That's the of the breed, right? And that's done with just about every bloodline, right? And if you're a mentor and someone takes your stuff and continues on with it, that's what you would want to see. If you did your job as a mentor, that's what you would want to see. At least in your own family of dogs, you want to see an improvement. And there's ways to do that. So I just kind of wanted to make that point because you guys were hitting on some good stuff,
Oh yeah, much appreciated too.
Yes,
Better
sir, man.
well spoken than I could put it.
Because I just realized that and seeing other examples that, like, why do I have to wait till I lose something to add an outcross? It didn't make sense to me at some point, And sometimes you do. You lose something, you got to you got to get fresh blood or new blood or whatever. But you can get to the point where you don't have to wait and you add it because you're either going to add it in the future or it's something that you like and you're thinking about adding in the future. Why wait? Just do it now. And then the other thing was you were talking about the formula, right? The recipes and all that stuff, right? They're important, right? But I kind of looked at it. I kind of looked at it from this point of view. Almost every dog, almost every bloodline we talk about, almost every breeder, right? Not all of them, but most of them, it's all out there. They have fake PEDs on them. They have unknown. They have, misleading and lies and all this. That's throughout the history of the breed. From the beginning, the first imports, a lot of them, unknown. So those guys, they may have known how the dog was bred and weren't sane. They may not have known how the dog was bred, but they're getting it from this breeder in England and Ireland because he's known for having good dogs. They just want that dude's dogs, right? So that's across the board throughout the history of the breed. So then the question becomes, do you need the recipe to breed good dogs? My opinion, you don't. I don't care what they did. I wouldn't even care in the present day if somebody lied to me about a dog I got from them and it's not the right pedigree, right? It don't even have to be close. It could be something else. Because what I'm doing is I'm looking at the dog and it has the traits I like and the behavior, temperament, structure, all that I like. I'm going to use it. Talking about the past, not only in competition, but if it's worthy of breeding to see if he can produce, I'm going to do that too. And especially if the dog is an outcross and the dog has similar traits to my dogs, that just makes it easier for me to have individuals that produce the same traits, even though they're not related, or even though it's unknown. Now, I'm not saying that's okay, and I never liked it, and I wouldn't do it. And I know several people that never fake nothing. All their peds are straight. But it's inevitable that it happened, it happens, and it's going to happen in the future. So I wouldn't let that deter me that I don't have the formula or the recipe to be able to breed this line of dogs or this family of dogs or make mine better with it, you know. Just because of that. It's not no knock on nobody. It's not, you know, knowing and having the bloodline, everything correct. That's important. But unfortunately, it hasn't happened that way. And I'm sure today it's people still doing the same thing, you know.
Yeah, I can dig it.
Hey,
I sure can.
And,
Well,
and
I got
basically, I'm saying don't get discouraged because if somebody comes and tell you, oh, this fake and this, it's really this and that. That don't matter. So
No.
what? That's what you tell them. So what, man? I still know. I know how to breed dogs. I know what I'm doing, and I'll make it work. If it don't work, I'm not going to use it. If it works, I'm going to continue with it. So it's more of that. Don't worry if you don't have all the true information, you know, because it shouldn't stop you. It was done in the past. We have more stuff today, better than in the past. You know, whether it's food or conditioning or breeding, husbandry, you know, animal husband, all this stuff, science and all that. So don't get deterred because something ain't all the way correct in one of your dog's peds, you know.
Yeah. Oh,
so.
yeah.
Let me ask you this, man, because this is one of the things that I have seen, man, and I'm scared to say it, but I want to ask you.
Go ahead.
So I have seen dogs that were not papered at all, lineage genuinely unknown, right?
Right.
And they were, to this day, some of the, not all of the best. Don't get it twisted. Like typically, if you know the dog and the DNA behind them, you know, or you have an idea of what realm you're going to be in. But I have seen with my own eyes some dogs right now that are unpapered, that are fire, right? And
right.
because of that, do you think there's a lot of unknowns in those pedigrees as well, where somebody gets a dog and they're like, man, it fell out of the registry or was stolen, and they threw those papers on there? What do you think the percentage of those that work out are?
Well, I wouldn't know the percentage, but some of the facts I can give you is you're absolutely right. That has happened. And if you look through the Sporting Dog Journal, there's several throughout the year, the 30-year span. There's several that have just that. They either have a whole unknown pedigree, or part of the pedigree, or half of the pedigree is unknown or blank, you know, and they're champions and grand champions. So whatever the reason, and that's the reason, one of the reasons people do it. I mentioned this before. There's a famous breeder. Everybody knows him in a certain part of the country. I ain't going to say his name because I don't want to start no stuff, right? But if you look at his pedigrees, some of them are filled in with certain dogs. Part of those pedigrees, it says unknown, unknown, unknown back, right? The reason it says unknown is because those dogs were stolen. And they were good dogs. So they don't want, you know, it will be like, and sometimes, you know, there's some dogs, another one, I won't say which one, but he's supposed to be sired by a famous dog, a champion, ROM and all that. He's not. He's sired by a son of that dog. So yeah, there's different reasons why they do it, and it happens all the time. But, you know, really, if you want to sleep at night, especially when you get older and all this stuff starts hitting you and memories and all that stuff, just keep your stuff straight. Don't lie. I guarantee you, it'll make you feel better, because there's example. We're living that way, not just in dogs, but in real life. Lying, cheating, stealing, deceiving, all that. It affects you, and it's usually later on in life when you're weak. And you know.
So let me give you the example I was speaking of, Schoolboy, just so I can remove all doubt. I want to say the dog's name was Champion 34, if I'm not mistaken.
Grand Champion 35.
35, yeah.
He was the 8-time winner.
But that dog was unknown, correct?
Right, yeah. they kind of think they know, there was something, but no. To say 100% he's really this or that, no, they don't know.
Man, I done seen
So-
street
and-
pits or pits that didn't have a pedigree on them that I'm just looking at it like, man, that's a good bred dog. You know what I'm saying? I don't
Yeah.
know what it is, but
Yeah,
you
that's
just see
happened
like,
too.
man, I don't
we
know,
had
man.
we had some.
You know that
I found one.
like a good,
Yeah, I found
like
one
a
in the,
bulldog, man.
right.
I know it got
Yeah,
that
yeah.
bulldog when I see it, and that look
Yeah,
like
it's
bulldog.
it's got some breeding in it, and I've seen that too. And my friend had one too. She was a badass bitch, man. She didn't have no pet, but she was a pit bull, and probably some of the local stuff here or there. And I found one in the street that looked like she was going to be a good one. I looked at her a couple times, but then she ran away. But I don't know how she finished out. But maybe somebody else found her or whatever. But yeah, that happens too because it's in the pit bull, so it can come out. Just like I mentioned before, I've seen a German Shepherd fight like a pit bull. Take hold, shake, hit certain areas. He wasn't snapping and growling and all that, hair standing up and all that. He was throwing down. I don't know if he was game, but he moved and fought like a fighting dog. So it's in dogs to do that, just to what degree and what level and what ability and all that they have. I'm not saying throw some German Shepherd in your pit bull, but I'm saying that it could happen that a dog like that, a non-pit bull breed, could do that. If you look at some of the movies from the 30s and 40s, black and whites, you'll see different dogs in the movies, different breeds of dogs in the movies have those type of behaviors, show that aggression. I saw one where they were chasing some people up a tree. They looked like Great Danes or something, and they were. The scene was they're chasing this man and this woman up the tree, try to get them, right? And if you watch closely, they start getting into it. When they start getting into it, they cut the film. Probably because the dog started fighting, and they don't want that on film or whatever. But yeah, it's dogs will do that.
Abraham said he bred bull to a chow, and
Uh-huh.
he kept like one as like kind of a watchdog, and somebody was talking shit, and he said, you know what? I'll put my mixed breed on it. And he ended up winning one off the chain in like 40-some minutes with a half pit bull off Abraham's bull bred to a chow.
There you go. And Vince Cooper he did an article. He wrote an article, came out in the Sporting Dog Journal, I think. It was called "Gameness is as Gameness does," and it's giving all these examples of gameness, not just with pit dogs, but with race horses, or hound dogs. They'll run till their pads fall off. Race horses will run till if they break their leg, they'll continue to run. They won't quit. You have to physically stop them. And he had not a Rottweiler. What's that dog with the same markings as a Rottweiler? Skinny,
Doberman.
the pointed ear. Doberman. He had a Doberman Pinscher that he rolled with his pit bulls, and he said that Doberman Pinscher stopped several of his pit bulls. So yeah, there's examples like that. All over the place. It's just not common like a pit bull. They're anomalies.
It's common. It's something that's noteworthy when it happens.
Right. They're exceptions.
Hey, Schoolboy, Martinez says, tell him about that boxer down in Mexico.
The boxer? Yeah, who was it? I think it made champion maybe or something, but he won at least one match, maybe two, maybe three, maybe more. He was a boxer. And I think it was either Rodriguez or Gutierrez, somebody, I forget who it was, but yeah, he's down there. Even I either refed or I was a spectator of a half pit bull, half bull terrier, right? And he the handler, and you could tell he bull terrier, the head and all that. And he had body of a pit bull and all that. But they're going at it, right? And the scratching starts, and his handler goes, he don't scratch. And I said, well, if you don't scratch, you lose. That dog scratched 9 times before he quit. He quit, but he scratched 9 times, and he lost in 1:09. So there's another example. It was just a dog. The guy put them together, for whatever reason. That one panned out. He rolled him out. He matched him.
I got another one, y'all. I got another grenade to throw out there. Schoolboy, M1 solo. So I've seen this a lot, a whole lot, and I want to get y'all take on this. And mind you, when it's going uphill, I get it already. All right. But I've seen and heard of yard accidents where a dog that was a match dog getting killed on a yard by a dog that was a brood stock animal. What does that say about the match quality animal, and what does that say about the brood stock animal? And mind you, there are certain things you can afford for like weight and age, but when you're talking about a yard,
well,
go ahead.
It would it depend on the circumstances. Maybe that brood stock was good enough to be matched, but they held back on it because it was brood stock. And how it's bred has no significance, whether it was inbred, line bred, outcross, whatever. As far as quality goes, if it's a quality dog, it is what it is. It could be the circumstance of who was off the chain and who was loose. That could be an advantage or a disadvantage. So for me, when it comes to that, it's the circumstances, or it could be that champion or whatever, he wasn't that good. Yeah. And they'll exhibit all kinds of behavior. There's dogs that will fight on their yard, and you take them outside the yard, they won't fight.
Yeah.
They'll fight on they'll fight on their chain. You put them in a box, they won't fight.
Yep.
So it's just, that's another reason I stress to do a lot of stuff with your dog. Familiarize them with different atmospheres and different people and different areas and different climates and different surfaces that they walk on. Anything you can think to do with them, do it. See how the dog reacts, or at least get them comfortable in that situation. And it makes them more confident, and it makes them easier to handle. You can take them anywhere. You can do almost anything you taught them to do, or see what they can learn, what their intelligence is, or what their limits are. You got to push them. You got to stress them. You got to see, are they calm in this situation, and do they bow up in this situation? So you avoid that situation, whatever it is, anything you can think of, not just what I'm saying here or whatever, but in your own, where you live, and, what's close by, and how your yard is set up, all that,
Hey, Schoolboy, I want to chime in on that because that's a very, very good point. And once again, my knowledge base is about dog training, but I'm seeing now a lot of our stuff from dog training was stolen from pit dog men. I'll give you an example. Okay, if I go out on an obedience competition and my dog pisses or shits on the field, you're eliminated. If your dog eliminates from the field of training, you're eliminated. And so,
really,
with my dogs, say again.
Really? Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
Before I start a training session, I walk my dog and have it poop and pee because I want to condition that animal to poop and pee on the walk. But I got a patch in my backyard of AstroTurf where we train at. They're not allowed to poop and pee on there.
Right.
Because
that's very good.
Ready, it's time to train. And so that's not really training so much as conditioning. So now when my dogs walk, I can guarantee you I can go put my dog on a leash right now, and within the first quarter mile, they're going to piss and they're going to poop and they're going to get it all out of their system because it's their regimen. So going back to what you were saying, to caveat that, it's called generalizing. Even with biting dogs and dogs that do bite work, if you train them in the backyard on a solid surface and you put them on linoleum floors, they might not do the bite work on a linoleum floor because their grip and stuff is different and they're uncertain of that. They're uncertain of that environment, surface. Right? Yeah, exactly.
That surface, yeah.
They're police dogs.
No, that's true.
And they won't pass the courage test on a tile floor. So going back to what you said, with your puppies, you would let them learn how to scratch early on because you were generalizing that behavior.
Exactly. And one thing that helps is if you and I have a friend, and she's a dog trainer. She has pit bull, she got staff, she got bully, she got shepherd. She's a dog trainer, right? And she uses voice commands to tell the dogs when to go to the bathroom. And it don't matter when it is. If she tells the dog go poop, the dog will go poop. Even if it's a little bit. If it's empty, pretty much empty, it'll poop. Go pee, it'll go pee. And she does that with several of her dogs. So that what you're talking about, having them understand that command and then go do it, you can combine that with when you feed them, because that's what I used to do. I fed 24 hours every day, once a day, right after their workout, right, a certain time of the day. So before I take my dogs out to do the exercise, the conditioning program, I empty them out. And when you do that, it not only empties them out, but it warms them up, it loosens them up, they stretch, and this, just like if you were to do calisthenics before a workout, it's important. Everybody knows you should warm up before a workout. So that's what I'm doing with my dog, but it's time to the feed also, because you can, I've seen people weight pull this and that, and the weight pull goes all day, and they'll feed their dog in the middle of the day. They'll give them something to eat. You don't want to do that. That could upset their stomach. That could affect their performance. They don't need that food. They can go 2-3 days without food. It's not going to hurt them. And at least 2 days. And how do I know that? Because I did that with my dogs. I wanted to see how they acted when I looked at them without food for 2 days. And in some cases, they perform a little bit better. Why? Because they're hungry. So whatever I put in front of them, they want to get it, because they have that mentality in their head. So anybody doing competitions like that, whatever it is, whether it's bite work or, confirmation, whatever, right? Get your dog on a food schedule so that correlates with the emptying schedule. And during the day, don't feed them. You may give them a little bit of liquid. Maybe you want to give them some Pedialyte or Gatorade, or you want to give them a little bit of broth. But you can't perform right if your belly is full of food, or even half full of food, or quarter food. It'll upset your stomach because it's not digested, And if you give them too much liquid, when they're doing their work and moving around, you can hear it sloshing around in their belly. I've seen people do that. They'll roll their dogs and you hear it in their belly sloshing around because they're moving around and stuff. Because they wanted to give them something, to help them. It don't help them. It hurts them. So have them empty, have them warmed up, do the thing. And whatever it is you're doing, you practice that too. So if you're a weight puller, I would train the dog, condition the dog for weight pulling and emulate the event. So you go out and you pull, right? And then you have a time period between pulls. Do that and then go out and pull again and do it again over and over and over. You can do that all day long with the dog, just as part of its training. And within that, you're going to use signals. You're going to get close to you're going to bond with the dog. He's going to understand what do you want him to do? When do you want him to pull harder? How hard do you want him to try? All this stuff that's involved. That's just in the weight pulling world, Same with wall climb or lure course or I saw, which was bad, I saw a video the other day on YouTube of they're chasing this suspect, the cops are. They tell him, we're going to cut the dog loose. Okay, the dude don't stop running. And I don't know if it was because the clothes the guy was wearing or whatever, the dog got confused. He cut the dog loose and the dog ran over and was running around like looking, who do I bite? He never went after the suspect. The cops caught up to him because he stopped. He saw the dog coming, but the dog didn't go for him. He's looking at the other cops. He's looking at the suspect. He's looking around. How does that happen that trained dog, police dog, did not do his job? So there was a flaw, at least in that dog. Maybe he looked good in training and he did what they told him, but in the real world, he didn't perform, man. And he still stood there. He never went after the dude. He's looking around. He's standing there and sitting down. Like, man, that could be a bad situation, because that's real life, Who knows if the dude had a gun or whatever it is, it just
shot.
Yeah, man. Because your initial thing is when you see a dog coming at you, for most people, you're gonna hesitate, man. You're gonna be scared. You're never gonna think I'm gonna pull my gun out. You might, and then shoot the dog, whatever. But most people freeze up a little bit, and the dog takes that opportunity to grab them. Then the person's got to deal with that. But in this case, the dog did nothing, man. Just wagging his tail, looking around.
Hey, we got another question from the chat. I'm gonna chime in on. I'm gonna let y'all cook. the question is from Martinez Game Dogs. Martinez, thank you for coming through, big bro, by the way. He said, Schoolboy, have you ever given coconut water for hydration? And Schoolboy, go ahead. I'm gonna answer real quick because I know you had to. I've used coconut water.
Yeah,
but
I'll be right back. I'll be right back.
Yes, sir. My favorite thing to use for that is cactus water or aloe water for hydration. It has a lot of electrolytes in it, and it has a lot of antioxidants that just mineral water don't have. And when I do use water for a keep, I was always taught Deer Park water will keep the dog from hassling. You know that, when they're breathing, like almost sounds like they're coughing. Deer Park water doesn't do that to my dogs. Brother M1, Brother Solo, y'all want to cook on that to Schoolboy get back?
Yeah, what was the question?
Says, do you use coconut, or have you ever given coconut water for hydration?
No, that was always me drinking. No, I ain't never did that though. Me myself, I like just that Pedialyte, Gatorade, and Liquid IV. I like those.
All right, Brother Solo. Oh, Solo must sit away real quick, y'all. But yeah, man, Tony M. Wildin, man, he said same problem with people too sometimes. Hey, Tony M don't hold no punches, man. Salute to you, brother Tony M. Yeah, man.
Tony M.
Schoolboy's back. So Schoolboy, the question was, Schoolboy, have you ever given coconut water for hydration?
No, I did like M1 was saying. I've used Pedialyte, I've used Gatorade. I like chicken broth or even beef broth, as long as you skim it, take as much fat out as you can. It has electrolytes in it too. And it's something that's, if I was feeding chicken, I use chicken broth. If I'm using beef, I use beef broth. So it's something that's in their system. No change, nothing different. And it has those benefits for hydration. But, like what you said with the aloe vera and all that, or they said with the coconut oil, if it works, use it. You see the benefits of it, and test it. I harp on this all the time, and I will till I die. Test everything, and not just once, and not just on one dog, over a period of time, and see the results of it, because the results could change. You may see benefits in 10 days given some, but give it at least 3 months, because it could be a benefit, and then as time goes on, it could become a detriment because it's too much, or it affects the dog over time negatively. So you got to test everything. Me and Hunter Man going to do a video on that, about supplements and all that. And you have to, and like I said, not just on one dog, but a bunch of different ones. Just like your conditioning program. Test it beforehand. Don't wait till you have an event coming up or you have something going on, even in the legal sports, or you go hunting, test it beforehand. Put a dog through a keep, and then find some way when you peek the dog out in that keep for him to exert himself so that you can see the results of that keep. So let's say you use a treadmill, right? And you put a dog through a keep, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, whatever. And you peeked him out and he's ready. Put him on that treadmill and let him run it till he's pushed, just like in an event. He's tired, he's stressed and all that. See how long it takes him. You may have maxed out on your slap meal 30 minutes with the dog. That's your peak. But doing all this other stuff with them and feeding them, conditioning them, rest, rub down, all that stuff you go through a keep. You could put him on that treadmill at the end of the keep when he's peaked. He might run it for 2 or 3 hours. And he's not going to run it full blast for 2 or 3 hours, but he's going to go through that process of fast run, slow down, hit a pace, pick it up, slow it down like that. Maybe he'll do it for 4 hours. Who knows? But that would be one way of testing your conditioning program to see how good it is. Because some people, I can look at a dog and I can tell if they're in good shape or not. I can tell if people cut corners or, they just dried the dog out or they starved them and that's why he's thin, but you know, I'm not 100%, and you still have to see it to know it. I can think all what I want, and I can be right most of the time, but sometimes I'm going to be wrong. So you have to see it with your own eyes to make a fair judgment assessment of it. It's one thing to think you know, it's another thing to know for sure. So again, training, conditioning, feed, supplement, test them all, test everything over and over again.
Yes, sir. Hey, so this is gonna be my last topic, y'all, because it's been a good cook up, and I want to talk about Nasty Man stuff. All right. I've seen Nasty Man, from what I've seen, has some crazy game dogs. And this is not in my pet. This deviates from it. But Schoolboy, since I got you, are you familiar with Nasty Man at all?
I've heard the name. Remind me what it is.
All right, so I'm gonna pull up a ped real quick, y'all, and this is just one of Nasty Man's dogs. I'm in a bunch of Instagram posts and stuff, and on Instagram, Nasty Man comes up in all my feeds, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't see a dog. I haven't seen a dog yet that doesn't look like what they proclaim it to be. This is Nasty Man's Kaiju. I'm gonna read some of the dogs in the ped to maybe help out. So in the 4th gen, you got Champion Rebels, Don's Turtle, 4-time winner. You got Pretty Boy Floyd, 1-time winner. You got Nasty Man's Gremlin, Registered Merit. You got Bros Kennel Vicky, 2-time winner. In the 3rd gen, you got Nasty Man's Jeff, Nasty Man's Shayna, Nasty Man's Jazz, Nasty Man's Snoopy, Nasty Man's Jeff. Oh, and let me give y'all this disclaimer. Nasty Man's stuff goes back to a lot of the Jeep Red Boy Rascal stuff. For those of y'all who are wondering what's behind these dogs, and I'll show you. With Nasty Man's Turtle, you got Finley's Bow going back to Jeep, and you got Crenshaw's Otis on top of a Rascal dog. All right, and going down the pedigree on these dogs, I'm seeing a lot of that Jeep Red Boy Rascal stuff.
Yep, that's good breeding, man. That's I'm familiar with those dogs in the past, and that's a lot of times that's what I tell people. I'm not familiar with the dogs up front, but they go back to good dogs. So yeah, Turtle, he was a 3 or 4-time winner, Registered Merit, you know, went into good competition. Don, the guy Don, that's who actually owned him. But both him and Rebel conditioned him for different shows, I think. I'm pretty sure, you know. And then those other ones. What's that other one? I heard of that female, or I think it was a female, Nasty Man's. What was it?
Nasty Man's Shayna. You talking about the 4th gen?
In the 3rd gen, or
yeah, Nasty Man Shayna, and you also got Nasty Man Snoopy Jr.
Yeah, Shayna. I think I've heard of her. What's she off of?
So Shayna is coming down off of some more of Pretty Boys Floyd and Bros Kennels Vicky, but it's going back to Rascal,
yeah,
Jeep,
yeah,
and Rascal Jr.
Yeah, that was I think those dogs came from Bobby Boyd. That's another offshoot of Rascal, but those were good dogs, man. Those were real good dogs. Solid. He was top, if I'm not mistaken. Bob Boyd, BB, or is what he used to go by, I think. But yeah, those are solid dogs. That's some good Rascal blood. I think that, and maybe did it have Charlie B in it, if I'm not mistaken? Maybe, and I might be mistaken in the name, but that stuff, that and the Rascal Jr. stuff, that to me was the Rascal, man, that I liked, you know.
Yeah, when I go back to school, I'm just seeing off Turtle is going straight back to Otis or a Rascal.
Yeah.
It's heavy,
right? Yeah. I remember that Pretty Boy Floyd dog. If I remember correctly, he was black with white on his face, maybe black and white.
Yeah,
it's in my brain somewhere. Yeah, it's in my brain somewhere. Yeah, those were good dogs. So that's well bred.
We got another question for you, Schoolboy. And this is for Northern Association. Also, shouts out to Northern Association for competing in our last Digital Dog Show. He did well. But he says, Schoolboy, have you ever had a dog start early but you didn't use it for a match, but you did breed it?
Well, most of my stuff started early, you know. And for example, what he's talking about, I had a couple, Lucy was one of my brood females. Her brothers were good, her parents were good. She was off of Champion Ninja and Miss Rowdy, which is Big Red sister. And I looked at her, schooled her out, tested her, all that stuff. She was match quality, but she was the only female in her litter. And I didn't want to compete with her because I might lose her or whatever. And I wanted to breed her. So I kept held back on her. But she was every bit as good as the ones that I did compete with, you know. She was a badass bitch, and she threw great dogs, you know. She threw Champion K, and Bambi was a 2-time winner, and Hammer beat a 4-time winner in hour 40, and Billy Jr. was a 2-time winner who lost in 2.5 hours, you know. So that was her first litter. So yeah, I've done that. It happens all the time if you look at, different pedigrees, you know, or you talk to the people, you know, you'll see that this dog wasn't competed with, this dog was, that was, and they're usually very good dogs. They're bred very well, their litter mates were good, their parents were good, their grandparents were good, and for whatever reason, they were held back for breeding purposes, you know, and that's what I did with Lucy. So yeah, it happens.
Yes, sir. Hey, so I'm gonna go back because Brother Viking had asked me to pull up this pedigree and go into that Snoopy Jr. stuff. And this is Snoopy Jr.'s ped. So you see you got Grand Champion. I don't even know how to, is it Andres? I don't know. I don't want to get her messing up people's names, man, and discrediting.
Andara?
Yes. Moses. Yeah. Moses registered merit. And to Garner's say again?
It's Andrassy's.
Okay. And
okay.
I think Viking his point was he made a point earlier that if you keep looking in these pedigrees, you're going to typically see Red Boy or Snooty. And sure enough, that Chinaman is in there. We know Snooty is in Chinaman. So Viking, to prove your point, yeah, that was a very well stated point, my brother. Very well stated point.
Yeah, and different people did that. You know, Mims did that. You know, he had he used Snooty with Sorrel, Snooty with Red Boy, Snooty with what was it? The Bishop Hilliard stuff out here. Him and Bishop Hilliard out here used to trade dogs, but it's kind of that same combo. You know, it works, and it works with several different breeders. You know, yeah, that's good stuff.
Yes, sir, man. I'm thankful to you, Schoolboy, for coming out. Brother M1, man, bro, y'all brothers make the show go so much smoother because what the holes that I can't fill in, y'all do a very, very good job and a very, very thorough job of making sure that the information is not misconstrued. I genuinely want to say thank you to both of you.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me on. I always, I try and follow you as much as I can, brother, and I'll at least push the like button, and keep doing what you're doing, much respect. And to the panel too, you got some good people coming on, and these ones here too, they made some very good points. I always learn something too, when I listen to other people. I ain't the know-all and be-all, but so I'm open to learn it, or at least hear their point of view. It may spark something in my head that, hey man, maybe I'll share it too. I'll say M1 taught me this, or M1 to, show me whatever it is, man.
Nah, it's just, you always get me to open up my mind more, to be like, well, what if, you bring me out of that old school way, that old school pattern. You know what I'm saying? And it's cool. I can dig it.
Yeah.
I can dig it.
I had to learn that too.
Yeah. A lot of times when I think about it, I go back and think about, well, what if I would have did it like that?
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right. And you always open my mind to a broader spectrum of whatever we talking about. So that should be so cool, bro.
Right.
Thank you.
Right. You're welcome, man. And thanks for sharing your stuff too.
Oh yeah, anytime. Anytime.
Hey, I know I said I was going to shut it down, but Schoolboy, you still here? M1, you still here? As long as y'all can be. Native Gold, welcome to the building. And Martinez, tip. Hey, we appreciate you.
Yeah.
Native Gold.
Good morning, gentlemen. Salute.
Good morning, salute.
What's happening? How you doing?
Same old, sir. Just working these dogs.
Good. Good to see you again or hear you again.
As they say, no hay de otra.
That's right. That's right. Which basically means nothing else to do, you know. What else are you gonna do? Yeah. You know, it took me a while to learn to, you know, start thinking out of the box. I did some early on, you know, but I would always question stuff, you know, especially when somebody said, "Oh, you can't do that. Oh, you can't, you know, that don't work." Well, why? Now, if they gave me a good reason why, you know, I might listen to them, but I'm still going to apply it or try it and see if it worked or not. But a lot of times they didn't have a good reason or even the experience. They're just repeating what they heard or read, you know. So I'm always, you know, questioning everything, you know, because I try and look at things, you know, front, back, side, all the way around, you know, in everything I do, not just the dogs, but everything, you know, whether it's history, geography, guns, whatever, dogs, horses, cattle, whatever, from a different perspective. And then you get all this information from different people, however you get it, and then see if it applies or see if it'll help you. Like you mentioned, you know, you didn't do some of the things in the past, you know, that maybe you could have done. Well, maybe you can do it now. Maybe you can see if it applies now, you know,
Right.
or in the future, you know, and check it out and it works, you know. We always want to get better. You get stagnant, you're done.
Yeah, man. And that's what I say. That's why I say you always be opening up a broader spectrum of what we talk about. And I'm real old fashioned, so shit. I be stuck in my ways a lot, you know.
Yeah.
And
Me too,
that's not
man.
always a good thing. That's not always a good
Yeah.
thing.
No, you're right. Yeah. So it just, you know, we got to learn to open up a little bit, like you said, you know. But you know, a lot of that old fashioned, it applies, man. I've said that about conditioning, concepts, you know, and breeding concepts. Those don't change with all the advancements we have, you know, and all the science and all that. The concept itself doesn't change. How to condition a dog does not change. What you use and the way you do it and different apparatus or methods or whatever, those can change or improve or whatever. But the concept of how to do it, how to condition a dog, bring them up to peak, finish them out, have them ready for whatever you're doing, that don't change. Breeding techniques, methods, inbreeding, outcrossing, line breeding, 25, 75, 66, 33 or whatever, father, daughter, mother, son, all that don't change. It's how you do it, how you apply it. So some of that old stuff, man, it's you know, it's there forever, you know.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
As they say,
I
if it
want to
ain't
welcome,
broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
I want to welcome Native,
Yeah.
Northern Association to the panel as well. Welcome, brother, Northern Association.
Thank you
Welcome.
for having me.
Welcome.
Thank
Welcome.
you. Hey, I want to say salute to all y'all, everybody in the chat as well.
Salute.
I want to let y'all know I appreciate these shows because you know, when y'all get on here, it make me want to go do something with dogs, man. Make me want to go work them. Make me want to go pet them. Make me want to go love on them. Give them some treats. You know what I'm saying? Make me want to go clean up shit. You know what I'm saying? Even though that's mandatory, you know. But I just want
That's
to say
great.
thank you, especially you, Mr. Schoolboy, man.
You're welcome.
Not knocking
I
nobody
appreciate
else
it.
on the panels, you know. But Schoolboy, boy, you are inspiration to most of us, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know the feeling, man. You know, I'm accustomed to not having dogs, you know, and I use these platforms in my own and write books, all that stuff to keep me involved, you know. But I miss it too, man. I would love to have a dog out there and go pick up his shit, you know, and be proud of him, pet him, and all like that, you know. Just a
Right.
situation I can't, but I feel you, man. You know, I feel
I
you.
wanted to ask the whole panel though that same question I asked Schoolboy because I had a situation where I went and got a puppy from a breeder, right, at 8 weeks, and the breeder's in this chat as well. So, you know, I'm contacting the dude the whole time. I drive 3,000 miles to go get the puppy and shit, right? I'm like, man, you know, I got a young son. I need a puppy that's like Samurai was saying, know what kind of dog you need. And he was like, yeah. Long story short, he's like, yeah, this puppy, she the most laid back out of all of them. So while I was getting her, I picked up 2 more puppies that was 2 weeks older than her, right? When I put this one in there, she turned to a whole different dog. Whole different dog. She wasn't chill. She wasn't laid back. She was all gas. You know what I'm saying? At 8 weeks. And so it came to the point this dog was so gas. I'm in the country. I had to walk this dog down the middle of the street in the country because they got horses on this side and cows on the other side. She trying to get all of them. Everything. You know what I'm saying? So by 5 months, she's on everything. But I'm training her. I'm putting in the work. Because I know by 10 months, if I don't control this dog, it's going to be, you know, accident after accident after accident. The reason why I asked that question, Schoolboy, because she got into a kennel accident at 5 months, right? And got on one of my she started it and got on one of my hard mouth bitches. And, you know, she didn't curse or nothing. She took her bites and tried to do all her dishes, you know? So I didn't even look at her no more. I just kept, okay, I see what I got you just for the, that I got.
Yep. They will do that, you know. Yeah,
So
and like I
that's what
said, both of mine at 8 weeks, that's when I had to start separating them. Some a little there, I take, you know, like that, but that can happen because it's in her to do that. Now, in a certain situation, even at her breeder's home, you know, she's chill. It's not untrue. She's that way.
Did he go out or did I go
And,
out?
yeah. And then, but you know, you put her in a different situation or a new owner or with other pups that she's not familiar with or around dogs that she wasn't raised with or whatever. And those instincts can come out, you know.
Right.
It's not unusual. It's not something rare. It happens all the time, you know. And you know, you say you take her out there, you know, that's kind of how I live. You know, there's cattle and there's all kinds of livestock and all that around. So I just learned to always have them, you know, on a lead. And sometimes it was a 25-foot lead or a 50-foot lead so they could have room to run around. But I always had control of them that way. You know, I didn't let mine run loose.
Oh, she wasn't running. I'm just saying she was
right
at the end of the leash.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying,
yeah,
you know,
they'll
like
go nuts.
Man.
And the way, you know, the whole time you're walking them, she's screaming at every little animal that moves. The cattle screaming like a madman.
Mm-hmm.
That's typical of the pit bull. That's all I'm saying. That's the way they are. You're showing her all this prey and all this 4-legged animals and squirrels or whatever it is, and she's just happy as a you know what. And you know, for me, I like that. You know, I do. I don't see it as a nuisance. You know, I don't. Man, I fall in love with dogs like that because they're showing me at least they have that want. You know.
Right. Oh yeah, I love that dog. That's my dog for sure.
Yeah, and I bet she's good with your kid.
She good with everything.
I'm telling you that. Yeah, that's a pit bull. That's typical pit bull. That's the way they are. They'll nut up and act psychotic and crazy, and then your kid she'll be laying with your kid. They watching TV and just petting her and all that stuff. Chill, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, that
anybody else in the panel had a situation like that or in a chat.
Talking about a female that you didn't do nothing with, but you went on a bred her. Is that what you talking about?
Yeah.
I'm in the same situation right now. My dog got all the qualities that I look for in her. It's just she ain't got that wind. She got all the qualities I need in her. She's very attentive. She eager to learn. She keep eye contact with me, waiting for her next command. She give her all and everything she do. She just ain't got no wind. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm in that position right now. I can't take her in the woods, bro. Shit, a hog will kill my damn dog because she ain't got the wind. She just ain't got the wind. But guess what? She got all them other attributes. So you best believe what I'm gonna do. I'm looking for a good dog that's a winded dog that know how to, you know what I'm saying, get out there in the woods and travel through them woods, you know, without coming to that wall in 15 minutes. stuff like that. 10 minutes. So yeah, I'm looking to put some wind in her. I ain't got no business putting her, taking her in the hardwoods. I ain't got no business doing it. So yeah, I'm gonna see. I know if she's anything like her mama, she gonna be a good brood dog for sure. She'll hit a hog and she'll hold a hog, but she don't have the endurance and the wind to stay there. She don't have that. She just don't have the wind, bro. But everything else is there. Mouth is
So,
good and all that.
so you can't build it up. You saying it's just genetic, no win?
She was born with a birth defect that I was hoping that she would have grew out of. Well, she grew out of the main problem, but the ending results is this. You know what I'm saying? And that's basically natural. It really didn't bear too much effect on it, but it's basically natural. They just need wind. They lacking, the wind that I would like them to have. That's that's the only thing I say about bad about mine that I don't like about mine, and I just keep it truthful. That's what I don't like about mine. Other than that, shit, everything else is
There you
gravy.
go. There you go. That's the best thing to do. Keep it truthful. And it so
Mhm.
happens my friend back in the day was in the same situation. He had a male. His was a male. Not good air, intense game, all that rough, hard mouth, all that stuff back in the day. And he just bred her to his female who was a champion, and she had great air. She had air for days. And the resultant pup had better air than he did, than the daddy did. That's how one way to improve your dogs. You can do that. You might
Yeah, that's
have
what I'm
one that
trying
might
to do.
have the same defect. Just don't continue with that. Just don't breed that one. But
No,
using
no.
her, she has all these positive traits and all these good attributes and all that. You can fix that when you breed her. And it's simple.
Yep,
Breed her to something that has good air,
yep.
and see what happens. That's how it's done.
That's how I'm going. That's the direction I'm taking for it. I don't know other way to
Yeah.
do it. Try to add what I'm lacking.
Not
There
enough
you
true
go.
people and not enough people willing to be okay with telling the truth like that. That's big.
Yeah.
Well, it is what it
And,
is. I'm not going. I look at it like this. I I actually like to get in the woods and hunt my dogs. You see what I'm saying? Now, if I sit up and tell you some bogus bullshit, and you happen to pull up with another group of guys, and we done met out there, we hog hunting, and you have to say, "Well, that ain't what you told me about that dog."
there
Then
you
I'm
go.
standing there looking like a motherfucking ass in front of everybody because I know I sit up there and bullshitted you and lied. I ain't got time for that shit. I'd rather just keep it a buck. Therefore, I can find what I'm needing, and hopefully, me being truthful, a man will be like, okay, he really want to improve his shit. Let me see if I can help him.
Yeah, just
You
improving
understand?
one dog at a time. I mean, it, it it takes a lot for an individual to go out there and look at their dogs and be like, "Hey, my dog lacks this or my dog lacks that." Like me personally, like my dog loves people, so a lot of times like she'll go and engage, and she's all about it when we're there. But she, it, I definitely know that I need to bring a little bit more intensity when it comes to the bite work, like Samurai. So I'm getting a pup from somebody who has uh, l- several generations of IGP champs. So I got to get that grittiness for wanting to do the work because it's like, hey, Dad told me to go. Let's go. This is not like not a game anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah, I even
yeah.
got a message a couple of days ago from a guy. He has a Cane Corso,
Oh God,
and it's
of course.
yeah, and it's not. Yeah, it's not. It has some faults, right? So he asked me. I told him the same thing. Find a Cane Corso, a good working one, from a working kennel that has the traits that your dog is lacking. Make the breeding, and then see the results. And the point of that, it's across the board. Whether you're doing it with dogs, different breeds of dogs, or you're doing it with horses, chickens, or even your cattle. You try and outcross cattle, beef cattle, if you want to add more fat or you want to add more muscle, more meat, maybe they're not coming out as big as you want. So you go in a different direction. You add a Charolais or you add a different breed of cattle, Angus have a tendency to be kind of on the smaller side sometimes, Herefords are more thicker, so they made the cross.
Yep.
And you have what we call a white face back in the day, because a lot of them came out with the white face. Some were that brown, orange, or whatever. Some were black, But that's how you do it.
Yeah.
Good
Not
stuff,
being
man.
blind to what you got.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like we had thin-skinned dogs back in the day. So our first option was to do what? Take it to a Carver dog. They got that thick hide,
Yeah.
they carry a lot of the same traits and they got that thick hide. So let's take it to a Carver dog and see what we get. You got better, tougher hide dogs, with a little
There
bit
you
more
go.
attributes that came with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Some of them Carver dog like that, man, you hit them all over. By the time it's done, you ain't even broke the skin, man.
Ain't
So
broke the
tough,
skin on them damn hog hide son of a gun.
Yeah.
That's how you gonna tell
That's
if your shit
wild.
was biting back then. That motherfucker got armadillo skin, this hog hide shield. Just hard to bite through them some guns.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, Northern Lights, I did want to say, Northern Association, I did want to say this too, bro. Shouts out to that breeder, man, because it sounds like you got your bulldog,
Oh
yeah,
man, that was
man.
Arrowhead, homie. Tell Arrowhead about that.
Hey, Arrowhead, salute to you, bro. That's exactly why Coda is the Shogun's choice, man. Hey, Schoolboy M1 Native Gold and everybody in the chat, man. When we picked Coda as the Shogun's choice, I picked him because he looked like the old school Mims dogs that I used to see. And those dogs had a little bit longer snouts, but they could bite like an alligator, man. So shouts out to you, Arrowhead. Salute.
Arrowhead got some good shit, man. I always, speak to him and, let him know, man, good job. He putting out good dogs, bro. Good looking animals.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is what it is.
Good people, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Ensuring the future. That's the biggest thing, is ensuring the future. I mean, if we can't produce better dogs than what we have now, I mean, are we really even trying to build a better future? Like Samurai and Mike were getting into, it's finding what works best for the particular task at hand and just improving. I mean, if we're not improving, then why are you putting dogs together? You're just putting them together to just flood the market.
Right.
Well said.
Right.
You're right.
Watering shit down.
Shout out to Culiacan Kennels. They're a Cane Corso breeder, but even then, they themselves have said, hey, when it comes to the Cane Corso, they're not just going to be producing dogs just to produce dogs. They want to produce dogs that belong in a household that fits the dog for what it is. You can't have a dog that acts like a game dog that just wants to hit everything, because the majority of the people that are in the civilian world can't handle a dog like that, or when it pops off at them or shows food aggression or shows dog aggression. It's like, for the average Cane Corso owner, they really can't have something like that. So if you're producing these dogs that are willing to go to war with a man, but you're selling to the general public that needs something that's balanced, well, you're doing an injustice to the breed.
Exactly.
Hey, I gotta give a shout out to Royal Blue. She's a lady. She's been on Buck's channel a couple of times, and I want to give y'all. This is kind of divergent from the dogs, but I'm gonna bring it right back. All right. So one of the things that a YouTuber that talks about social issues was saying, it was that a lot of women now are buying these working breeds to protect them, but they're not working class individuals. And what I want to express here and now is, if you're going to have a working breed, and I'm not saying working class means you got to have a 9 to 5. What I'm saying working class is, are you even active enough and physically capable enough? Can you do 50 push-ups, and can you walk a mile and a half, 3 miles with your dog? Are you a working class citizen that can handle the energy and the drive of these working class dogs?
Most people can't. Most people can't, and they get a dog that has that grit, and they're like, oh, what do I do with this? It's like, well, you shouldn't have got it in the first place, or you need to spay or neuter that dog because it doesn't belong in the class of dogs that you're working with. I mean, or the class of dog that you can handle.
Let me go ahead and tell y'all a story about a situation like that.
Yes,
This was
sir.
back when I was in the American School of Dog Training still, and I had a classmate. She was probably 4'11", something like that, barely even, not even 5 foot. She was small like a horse jockey, very small young lady. She had 2 big ass Italian fucking masters. Now everybody done made it past advanced obedience, and now we're starting protection work. And she's in my class with her 2 dogs, and I'm in my class with, the same class with 2 Rottweilers. I knew it was gonna be a fucking problem, because if one of them dogs crank up, it was some shit she would be able to do to stop the motherfuckers. Now, once again, we done made it through advanced obedience, but that don't mean shit once that dog is pumped up and ready to go. They just don't stop on command like that. That takes practice, 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 practice. You see what I'm saying? And some of them still don't break on first command. Well, the male gets crunk up real crunk, and the female used to always mimic him. And they just dragging this girl all through the motherfucking training, all through the training area. Now we're doing protection, so we're in a closed-in area, 4 walls, 2 doors. But my whole thing was, I'm not against it, but I'm not finna be in the class with her. That was an accident that was going to definitely happen, bro.
Not a matter
Dog
of
literally just
if, it's a
dragging
matter
her
of
fucking
when.
ass across the class. Yes, yes. And at the same time, my dogs is no longer paying attention to the class. They want to be protective of me because her dogs is being so aggressive. Hey, you got to take me out this class and put me in another schedule class.
Yep.
It just ain't gonna work. Now I have seen some females who have some well-trained, working dogs for protection. That's fine as long as you can handle that dog and you know what the thing of dominance is. You got to be able to show that goddamn dog that you the boss. You're the alpha.
Turn them
And if
on
you
and shut them
don't,
off.
that's right. If you don't have that control, ladies, it's very dangerous for yourself as well as someone else. You know how many women who've got working dogs, raised them up from puppies, and then all of a sudden they turn on them in the house, in the apartment.
The dogs know. The dogs know. I've seen dogs like at protection
Yep.
sports courses where it's like, oh, you're not going to let me continue biting? Okay, well, let me light you up really quick so you know that I really want to keep doing this. And it's like, if you can't shut the dog down, or if you can't get the dog to realize, like, hey, that shit ain't going to fly here, then you're just as weak to what you're trying to promote, to where the dog knows that it's like, hey, all I got to do is light you up and you're going to back off.
That shit is worse than a loaded gun. That's
Yes.
worse than a dummy with a loaded gun in their hand.
Amen.
So I'm not against it, but ladies, do your homework, because it's not as easy as it looks. And you're gonna have a task on your hands. Not saying that it can't be done. I just want you all to make sure it's something that you want to do, and do your homework. Get
Yep.
prepared.
Hey, let me chime in on that one too, man. I've seen this all too often. One, I do not advocate for dog parks for any working breed. Two, I'm going to get to an age where I can no longer handle working breeds myself. So while I'm young and viral, not viral, virile. That's
Virile, yeah.
That's why I'm doing what I do now. When I get to a certain age, man, you're gonna see me out there with my Chihuahua, and he's gonna be the meanest little shit you ever seen. But until that day, and I'm retired, this is what it is. But have y'all ever seen those videos? And I know y'all have seen them, of a dog in a dog park where a dog on dog, it don't matter what breed it is, they're going at each other, and the owners can't stop it.
Yeah. All the time.
All
They're
the
just getting
time.
drug around, or they're tripping and falling on themselves.
And their main
Not enough
method of
people
stopping
educating
them is
themselves.
to pull on the dog.
By
That
their
just makes
back
them bite
legs,
harder.
Tio. By their
Yeah.
back legs, Tio. Pull them by their back legs, lift them off the ground. That's stupid shit.
Yeah. And not understanding that all it takes is a breaking stick. And if you don't
That's
have a
all.
breaking stick, you have to choke them.
Yep.
Pulling their
Collar.
tail, pulling their legs, pulling on them. It makes them bite harder. It makes them hold on harder because they don't want to let go. So those are just simple, a simple learning process of how to use a tool or how to control a dog or get them out of that situation that everybody should learn. But most people, the general public, they have no idea, man. I seen them stick their finger up their butt and throw water on them, try and drown them. It don't work,
You
man.
know, you can knock a dog out in like 6 seconds with his collar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's
If
just
done
that
seven.
correctly,
Well, yeah,
if done
mine 7
correctly.
seconds, but it's like that. Yeah, it don't take long.
Hell no, it
You
don't
know,
take long. You better not do it too
yeah,
long because you'll kill the fucker.
yeah,
You gotta
yeah,
know
you
where to
will.
place that
Yeah,
collar at. You gotta know the
yeah,
I've
yeah,
placement of that collar, and you'll put that son of a bitch
yeah,
to sleep.
yeah, yeah. I've
I've
seen
seen
people
that
put a
where
chokehold on them, and like that. But
Hey, let me
the
give
stick
y'all
is
this
the easiest way, and they should learn how to use it on any breed.
Let me
That's
give
right.
y'all this too, Screw
Any
Ray. I want to
breed.
give y'all some terminology to combat these Karens and these tree huggers out there. This is genuine dog science 101. Even what's them called, the trainers that don't know the purely
Pure
positive
positive.
dog trainers.
Yeah.
This is a true story. There's a thing in all dogs, which is known as opposition reflex. You use it when you're training to sit, the down, this whatever. Wherever the head goes, the tail goes opposite. Also, when you put resistance on a dog, it pulls away. When you put pressure on a dog, it pushes into it. All right. So the people that say that dog fighters are training their dogs to be dog fighters, the people that do that, what you're talking about by pulling that dog away, you're reinforcing that prey drive. If you want to talk, it's
Yes,
just like
sir.
dating an animal. Opposition reflex, you just train that dog to go harder, because if it goes a little harder, your weak ass is gonna let that dog go and he's gonna get what he wants. So now you just reinforce it. It's a self-reinforcing behavior. So the next time
Yep.
you have a Karen run up on you, ask them about opposition reflex and what they're doing to combat opposition reflex in their dogs.
Very good point.
Once the
That's
dog
it.
finds out,
Most
once that
trainers are
dog finds out,
not willing to do that. What they'll do is it's whatever the owner wants, because that's what's gonna bring in more revenue is being able to have a repeat customer to train their dog, instead of being like, hey, you know what, like, you can do this. But a lot of people are like, oh no, but the collar hurts them and this and that, and it's like there ain't nothing a human can do to a dog outside of using the tools necessary for training that dog to actually make it or teach it the correct response of outing or letting go, or like you said, driving in. I mean, it's like you got Malinois. Like, I mean, it's just a beautiful thing when you see a dog bred right that drives into the leg bite or drives into the armpit, for these apprehension sports. And it's like you have a lot of people buying these dogs, and they just want to have them as ornaments at their house, because they're like, hey, I seen it in a John Wick movie, and they don't realize that it's like, hey, you have to know how to get that dog off of whatever it is.
it's just it's different calibers of dogs. I'm gonna keep saying this. It's different calibers of dogs. Now, here's the thing. They won't tell you, once a dog knows that he can dominate you, you ain't no more good with that dog. This is how I feel about it personally, and this come from training, and I've seen it. So this is my observation. Once that dog knows that he can dominate you, he no longer is gonna respect you. Period. You're gonna slip
All
up,
true.
and he's gonna
All true, brother.
realize that he does not have his pinch collar on, or he doesn't have his lead on, and you're gonna slip up and you're gonna give him a command, and that son gonna look at you like you stupid, and then he's
Yep.
gonna have your ass. See,
Yep.
they don't tell you
He's
once
gonna
the dog has
side
dominated
eye
you.
you.
Yeah, they don't tell you once the dog has dominated you, you need to get the motherfucking dog away from you, because he'll no longer ever respect you ever again.
Yep.
So shit. Well, let me tell you something. One of mine, I wish they would. And then if you ever even attempt to do it again, you gotta go. If it's something that I've done to make a dog do that, I'm gonna recognize that. But if you do it, one of those, silly moves, demonstrate anything aggressive like that, and I can't correct it, immediately gone. That's just
Hey,
period.
tag me in real quick, bro. You got me excited. And bro, I know y'all have seen this. If you ever had a dominant
Yes,
dog, I know
sir.
you've seen this. Okay, so these people who are getting attacked by their own dogs, what M1 said is 100% right. You must set alpha. And I'm gonna give you 3 examples of people not even knowing they're doing this and reinforcing to their dog that their dog is the alpha of the pack. And this leads to animal attacks. 1, I greet my dogs and my family in order of rank. My wife and then my kids in order of age, and then my dogs in order of who I want to perform the most dominant. Because in a wolf pack or any dogs, the structure is set by the true alpha. All right. So the first thing is establish for that dog a boundary system to know where the alpha is in your family pack. 2, there are microaggressions that your dog does. Like, you ever seen them poop and they kick the grass up behind them? That's microaggression. That's microaggression. And the third one that people do, and I've seen a lot of women do this, and I get sick to my stomach when I see it, but I need to share this with y'all so y'all can stop them from doing this, is I learned this from a police officer. The dog will take his paw and sit on top of your foot. Every time my dog gets his paw on top of my foot, or he sits with himself on top of my foot, I step on it.
Trina got that bad too, bro.
I step on it.
You have to teach them that. You have to teach them that. I see people that like think like, oh, he's just putting his head on me. No, he's putting his head over you because he or she, you know, realizes that it's like, okay, I'm stronger than you. I need to let you know that it's like, hey, I'm gonna be controlling the situation right here, because at the end of the day, when shit pops off, I'm gonna get it taken care of. And you can't let them do that, because you know, and I've seen it happen with male and female, but a lot of folks want to be like, oh no, well, it's the dog. No, it's you and the way you handle that dog. Why does your dog not do that as soon as I go to handle him? Because he or she realizes that it's like, okay, when I'm in this person's hands, not only am I safe, I'm secure, and I don't have to worry about confronting a would-be or perceived danger to where I need to control the situation. And a lot of people, I see it a lot in German Shepherds. I had a client not too long ago with a boxer. It's like, oh, well, as soon as I grab the dog, you know, he wants to be going after small dogs, because you're letting him. He knows that when he's in your hand, he needs to go after these dogs to protect you, or that's what he perceives he or she perceives in his mind, in their mind. So a lot of folks are not willing to put a prong collar on them, because they're like, well, doesn't it poke their neck? And it's like, well, no, I mean, you abuse any tool, I mean, it's going to lose its effectiveness. And if he knows that it's like, okay, I get pronged, and you know, it's going to build that, like you said, like it builds that tension, it builds that back pressure, that oppositional pressure. The dogs are going to be like, okay, so I need to be harder now, because I've learned that it's like, hey, this is how go time starts, is that it's like I get a prong, and instead of getting a prong correction and being like, okay, I need to let my handler mitigate the situation, they're right there trying to like resolve it themselves, because they're like, hey, my handler's not going to keep me safe anymore.
Facts. Hey, I want to give one more thing that people do that they don't realize they're doing, specifically pet owners. And then Mr. Garcia, Brother Ween brought up a topic I want you to chop up on. So in the protection game, and Brother Native Go, you can probably back me on this. A lot of times we'll train a dog on a table to put them eye level with the human being. That builds that dog's confidence and character in seeing a human being as a prey animal. This is one of the things, people got the dog on the couch with them, sitting face to face. You're reinforcing these behaviors in this animal, because now he sees you as an equal. That's dangerous, man. That's extremely dangerous.
It's bad. It's bad.
That's true.
It's bad.
It goes to that hierarchy, that alpha, the dominant one, you know. So without realizing it, you're putting them in a situation which is allowing the dog to dominate you, or allowing the dog to control the situation. So I'm going to go to the extreme when I say this. Whether it's your fault, my fault, nobody's fault, the kid's fault, whoever's fault, if I see something like what M1 was talking about, dog's out of there, man. I don't care the reason. I'll take the blame if I did something wrong and I brought it out of the dog. Now I got to get rid of him, whatever. It don't matter to me, because the end result of that mistake is a potential accident, a potential fatality, a potential injury.
Case.
It would behoove people to learn all this stuff, you know. It seems sometimes that we're hard on the dogs. Well, the dogs ain't soft. They're not, especially pit bulls, they're not 50s, they're not, you know. You can have be a little hard on them if you have to, but you also have to learn and recognize all the stuff that people on the on the chat here are telling you. And this is for the public. It ain't for even people in the chat. If somebody out in the public listens to this, this is what we're trying to explain. Don't put your dog in certain situations, but learn what those situations are. Learn what your actions mean to a canine. Because the only way that they have to communicate and defend and aggress and all that stuff is with their mouth.
That's right.
That's how they deal with you. That's how they
They
deal
don't
with
got
everything.
They don't got
They're
hands.
gonna- They
Nope.
don't got
Yeah.
hands.
Yeah.
You know, they
Exactly.
don't have, and a lot of it is instinctive, and it's in there. So if you bring it out of them or you encourage it, you're gonna have an accident, man.
Yep.
So even you know, you're sitting on the couch with them. There's little things like you were talking about. Don't let them dominate you, you know, and let them know their place and what they can do and what they can't do and what they're allowed to do and what's wrong. You know, I've said this before. I encourage good behavior, right? And I discourage bad behavior, but I never encourage bad behavior, man. I don't care what it is. And sometimes you're doing something, you don't even realize you're doing it. And that's the effect of it. Why did he snap at you? Why did he turn on you? Why did he growl at you when you touching his food? Even if he allowed it for you to do that beforehand, why is he doing it now? He's testing you.
Yep.
Or he's in a situation, maybe it's a piece of meat and he's different with meat than he is with kibble. Don't allow him to do it.
Yeah.
Man, you just preach. Because
Hey, I
I'll
wanted
give you
to
another
speak on
I'll give you
something
another
too
example.
about the breaking sticks before we move back forward.
Go
Because
ahead, bro.
I seen this personally. You know, as a kid, I watched this move. So say you don't have a breaking stick or something, and you can't get your dog off, right? All you got to do is put something on fire. I just seen this. So I'm a kid watching this. I'm watching these dudes roll some dogs when I'm like, you know, I'm young. I'm probably about 7. And they couldn't get this motherfucking dog off of the dog. They had the breaking stick, everything. It was so to the point where they was beating the dog up. The dog still wouldn't let go. And it was just an old gentleman over there smoking, watching. You know, we ain't supposed to be at this, so I'm on the roof watching. You know what I'm saying? And he like, man, get up, come here, move. He took a long drag of his cigarette, man. He let that carbon monoxide touch that dog nostril and sneeze. And as soon as it sneezed, they got him off. For real.
There it is. You know,
And they pulled him
now,
off because he had to breathe.
yeah. Maybe that won't work every time, but it's worth trying. And it might work most of the time, you know, overwhelmingly more often than not. So why not?
He
man?
didn't burn the dog.
It's always some. It's always some old. It's always. Yeah. It's always some old guy that got some simple remedy. They go here, get out of the way. Here, youngster, get out of the way. Let me show you how to do it. Boom, and it's done. Something nobody even thought of. I never thought of doing that, and I smoke.
Crazy.
But you know,
crazy. Just
now,
think about it though. The dog got in hold, breathing through his
Yeah.
nose, and all he did was just a barely. I'm talking about it wasn't even long. Like he just put it down there, and that motherfucker went and took a breath. And as soon as it took a breath, it sneezed and let go.
I love it.
Man,
Story.
Like the
Man.
old remedies, like
we got
schoolboy,
J-Bo
like
in the building. J-Bo, what's good,
Who?
big dog?
What's
J-Bo.
that, man?
J-Bo.
Yeah,
what's going on,
J-Bo, what's
Bo?
happening?
I'm trying to learn how to talk intelligent like y'all guys.
Oh man, we're gonna hear. We're gonna hear something now.
Here we come with that modest shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a conversation of today.
Yes, sir.
But J-Bo, it wouldn't be a conversation of today if we didn't have our dogmen of yesteryear. And that's why I'm glad you got young guys like Native Gold, Northern Association, and myself on here with you, M1 and Schoolboy, because I listen to rap a little bit, y'all. I don't know if y'all know this or not. And man, a brother in rap, he was saying that the new school needs the old school because y'all can tell us the wisdom. But the old school needs the new school because we can teach y'all about the technology. And this is a beautiful melding of great minds, man. With that being said, man, I'll drop the mic. I'm gonna let y'all brothers cook.
Yeah, I totally agree. You know, the past makes the future. The future is the advancement, you know, and you're right. You need both. Some of the stuff in the past, it don't apply. That's okay. Don't use it. Some of it does. Use it. old guys like me, we can learn from the new stuff that's coming out. You know, like I mentioned before, I don't know how to use a computer, but I had an issue with my computer last night. I don't even know how to turn it on. So what do? I call School Baby, do on the face thing and all that. And she tells me, turn it on like this. This is the PIN number. I'm in there. I got the phone at the computer, and she's just walking me through it. Get the mouse, touch here, go to that, little X, to this and that. But I did it, you know, without a youngster or my daughter, whoever it is, I would have been lost, man. And it was something I needed to do. So that's that technology you're talking about. I didn't even need her here. She just did it on the phone. You know, I just pointed at the computer and she's walking me through. So, you know, that's with everything, with conditioning, breeding, food, medicine, aftercare, whatever it is, you know, there's advancements. And if an old head is smart enough and not too stuck in his ways, we can learn too. And if a youngster is not so proud and not so, I know more than you, they can learn from old dudes like us.
Oh yeah.
Amen. Hey, I gotta give a shout out to my mom. My mom in the chat, y'all. Shout out to Mom Duke.
Hi, Mom.
Shout out, Mom. Shout out. Salute.
Respect.
Go ahead, Brother Northern Association. My bad, bro.
I was saying I don't understand how a young person can't want to learn from somebody older with more experience. You feel me? Like
Well, they take it as an insult. They take it as like, from what I've seen in my experience, they take it like we trying to check them or tell them what to do, or they feel like they feel like we think we know everything.
Right.
Yeah, all that, you know. And it depends on the teacher, it depends on the old guy. There are people, they're assholes, and they do those things, you know, but not all of them are like that. There's youngsters that will listen. They want information, you know, so it runs the gamut of all that. So I guess we got to pick and choose who we're going to deal with and who we're going to teach. And they got to pick and choose who they want to listen to, you know.
Yeah.
If he was never coached, like how Samurai say he was a jock, that's why he can learn from older people, because he's been coached his whole life. Everybody that coached him in basketball and shit was older than him. So he's gonna automatically, me too. I was a jock too, Samurai, for example. I lettered all 4 years, you know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is that's another reason why, you know, it depends on how that young person is brought up as well, you know what I'm saying?
True.
Just like the old person, because the old people, some old people won't fuck with a young person just because they're young. Same way, you know?
Hey, speaking of that, bro, I got to give y'all this story. My mom can validate this one, man. M1, Schoolboy, J-Bo, and the rest of y'all, man, that are older, I want y'all to realize what kind of knucklehead I was as a kid, man. And so my mom was a preacher, all right? And I've always had a thing for animals. I never wanted animals that other people had or could handle very easily. And so outside of our church, there's some bricks, and there's lizards that live in them bricks out there, right? And we had these little envelopes to pay your tithes and offerings in the church. And so I decided I was going to take this lizard and put it in the envelope, and I was going to keep it in my pocket until after church let out. And this is me not listening to the old heads, leaving lizards alone. That lizard got out in church. And you know I turned that church out?
That's funny.
Yeah. I'm not gonna ask what happened when you got home, but I can guess, you know.
My mama definitely believe in spanking, man, and that goes back to what Brother Northern Association was saying, man. Some of y'all just ain't never had y'all behind whooped, and what's the sad part about not being whooped at home is that life will whoop you, and life don't got no limits.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can die dealing with life.
I mean, I even tell, and we've done this in our family. I've taught my kids and all that, when it comes to discipline, you know, and my wife is the best at it, you know. If you're going to spank your kid, do it when they're little. Don't wait till they get older.
Yeah.
If you do it when they're little, you don't have to do it that much. They get the idea. And then it's just a threat of doing it. And then it's your voice and all that. But if you try to, you're their mom and they respect you, love you and all that, but something happens and you're 15, 16, 17 years old and you try to discipline your child and you ain't never done it, you're going to be fighting your own kid, man. You're going to be thrown down with your own child who you love and all that, but you never did it when they were little. So you really can't do it when they're older. It's too late.
Yeah.
And you know, my mom is 90 years old. She ain't 5 feet tall. She tells me to jump. I say, how high? I still have that in me. I'm not going to disrespect my mom. I still got that. Okay, mom, I'm going to listen. You know, and I
Yeah.
don't hold no grudges for her disciplining me when we're little. None of that stuff. I'm going to do what my mom tells me. But that is part of growing up. Beating kids and all that, abusing them, that's wrong. That's not what I'm saying. But disciplining them,
No.
they need it. They need
it.
structure. They need discipline. They need boundaries. They need rules. They need authority.
That's
What we're
why the
seeing today in a
penitentiaries
lot
are
of
full.
people, I'm gonna go off topic a little bit. What we're seeing today in a lot of people is they don't like authority. They don't like rules. They don't like someone telling them what to do because they don't understand. They haven't been brought up that way and they ain't taught that way, and so they're against it. Nobody likes to be told what to do, but in some cases you have to listen to it. And that's why we see a lot of things out here happening, because kids don't have any discipline or structure.
Yeah, that happened. That happened as soon as they took discipline out of the household, and now
Right.
the penitentiaries are full. And now you're running around with a
Right.
bunch of spoiled brats in the free world.
Right. And honestly, it's the adult's fault for doing that to him, for allowing that to happen. So it's not all the child's fault, or when he becomes an adult, it's not all his fault. It's because of the way the parents were, grandparents, whatever it is. But as an adult, that's not an excuse. You have to be responsible for yourself and what you do. So you can blame it on your mama or your grandma or your dad or whatever, and that may be true. But at that point, it ain't their fault. It's your fault.
Amen. Amen to that, schoolboy.
Yeah,
J-Bo,
yeah,
what's your thoughts?
y'all had it good. I got slave beatings.
Yeah, I took my
Yeah.
share ass beating too.
Yeah.
You're right,
I'm
J-Bo.
talking
That little old lady I'm talking about, that's what she did with us. She beat the hell out of
Yeah.
whatever was handy, man. That's what she did. A shoe, the phone, a cord, a mop, it don't matter. But, you know, that's the way it was. And I don't hate her for it. I love her, you know, but I understand that she did what she thought was right. And in the end, it made me a better person. And I could teach my kids the same thing, but I don't have to do it the same way. I don't have to grab a mop, you know. So you learn to do things a little bit different, but the discipline has to be there. But I know what you're talking about, J-Bo. Slave beating,
Yeah,
man.
I fall behind you on the age thing. So we used to get beat in school. We used to get beat at
Yep.
home by both parents and the neighbors. If your mama wasn't home, whip your ass for 'em.
There
Right.
it is.
And when
That's
you
it.
got home, you got your ass whooped again for showing out up the
That's what
road.
your ass whooped again. I'm talking about ass whooped so good you had a hiccups when you finished getting your ass whooped.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. And the neighbors, you know, like today, they might say, "Don't hit my kid. Don't tell my." No, the neighbors, they hit your kid. Your mama hit you when you get home because the neighbor had to
Yep.
discipline you.
That's
don't
right.
tell them
That's
that.
how it was.
Yeah.
That's how it was.
Yeah.
The good old
Hey,
days.
you speaking funny.
It's the same way with the dog. Discipline them early.
The same way with the dog. The same
You
way,
don't have to do
you know.
it later.
Yeah, with my dog's ass when they puppies. That's the last time I
Me
touched
too. Me too.
Yeah.
Well, shit, it's like this one right here. Shit, you would think the way she listens, the way I got her trained, you would think, damn, he must have had to kick her ass a lot when she was little. Never put a hand on her. It's my tone of voice that controls her. Yeah, it's my tone of
Well,
voice. It ain't because I done kicked
Yeah.
her ass. And I believe me, if I'd have had to, of course, yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, chop your little ass up. Yeah, but I ain't never had to do it. It's my tone of voice that gets her in check.
Right. And that segue, that's kind of along the lines we're saying, because as children grow up to adulthood, you ain't whipping your kids no more. You ain't doing that. It's your tone of voice and how you talk to them that makes them behave.
Yeah.
So that's a method of doing it too, you know. I seen my wife. She's 5'1". My son's 6 feet tall. He kind of went sideways on her. He cussed, not at her, but he cussed at something she was talking about, right? And man, she said, "What did you say?" And he turned back into a little kid, man. She's looking up at him like that, just telling him shit. Don't you ever talk like that in my house? Blah, blah, all that stuff. Sorry, mom. I'm sorry, mom. I'm sorry. He's big,
Yeah,
man. He's
man.
bigger than me. But that's the effect it had. That discipline early, and then, but later on, like you're saying, M1, it's just the tone. It's just how you talk to him.
It also
Yeah.
goes back
Yeah.
to him saying it's the respect. Just like the big dog, if it don't respect you, it's trying to get rid of that motherfucker.
Yep.
Yeah, you lose. Yeah, the dog. No, he can't. He don't gotta respect you. If you a pushover, yeah, that dog will never respect you. You better get rid of that motherfucker because it's just a matter of time before you or somebody else get ate up.
That's the whole point of it, man.
What
That's the end
M1 ain't
result that
telling
could
y'all
happen.
is, what M1 ain't telling y'all is M1 is 6'12" and sound like the voice of God. So of course, this correction is a little.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna listen to him when he disciplined me.
Nah, but you got to think about it. You got to think about it. That's intimidating to dogs as well. A guy my height, my size, most dogs don't like that. You know what I'm saying? They're not cool with that. And I noticed even with my dog, if somebody my size is approaching me or maybe even bigger, she ain't letting you come close to me. Like the first time she seen somebody bigger than me, I noticed that she was kind of on edge. Like, hold
If I
up.
see somebody bigger than you, I'm gonna be on edge.
And then I done walked up on people's yards and some of the dogs be cool and some of the other dogs not because they intimidated by me and they be like, well, they ain't never acted like that, but it's probably because you a big guy. Yeah, well, I know that's probably why, So you got to
Yep.
talk to them in certain tones instead of trying to be all physical and storming, all barnstorming and all that shit. I use different tones of my voice with my dogs, bro, and that way I don't have to be the big guy they hate. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Good
and
stuff.
this my grandfather was Schoolboy. You remind me of him. Your demeanor. My grandfather. I told you the story about me beating the anthill or whatever. My grandfather would say, "You shouldn't beat that anthill." He would walk off, and sure enough, he'd come back and I'd be stung up. And but one day, one of my uncles, my grandfather was an Army Golden Glove boxer, by the way. And so my uncle went to the Air Force just like me. My uncle Eric and I are very similar. People think he's my father, but he's not. It's my mom's brother. But that's how close we were. And so Uncle Eric, he boxed in the Air Force. And so one day he tried my grandfather when he came back from Colorado. And my grandfather put a whip on him, Clorox won't get off. And my grandfather was soft-spoken, but he wasn't soft-spoken out of timid. He was soft-spoken because he knew what he could do.
Yep.
And that applies to a lot of men, and that applies to a lot of dogs that I've seen as well. There's a lot of dogs that don't act a fool, but when it's time to work, they do the work. And so when I see your demeanor, even J-Bo too, man. J-Bo is a Southern dapper gentleman, man. And I'm like, I'm not trying J-Bo. When J-Bo started identifying the different kinds of bows that he was familiar with, J-Bo tried to put this rouge on y'all that he's not educated with. J-Bo is wise. Is wise.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna show you.
Yes, sir.
And J-Bo bigger than me, nigga, so I ain't got nothing to say about nothing. J-Bo bigger than me.
Yeah, if you're talking about sideways.
I don't need nobody that size get mad with me and then get the mitts on me and I can't get a loose.
Boy, you hit me with. Yeah, I've been a bust like a balloon. I get hit with about 2 licks right now.
Yeah. Nah,
you're good for one round, J-Bo. That's all it takes. You're good for 3 minutes. That's all you need. Knock somebody head.
Right lick.
And then they don't make the black woman like they used to, man. Back when I was small, man, all my grandmothers were 6 foot tall, wore 12 shoes, had a shotgun behind the door. Oh, they hunt and fish. Yeah. They don't make women like that no more.
Yeah.
Now your grandmother in the club with you.
Yeah, that's wild too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, J-Bo, I do want to bring it back to a question I had earlier. we were talking about Nasty Man. Have you ever heard tell Nasty Man? And I'm doing this research. Let me give you my why. I'm doing this research because this is the line of dogs I'm interested in.
I heard of a dog called Nasty Man. He was down this way though.
Hey, bro, Nasty Man. The Nasty Man I'm speaking of, it's a dog man. It's a kennel, and he's got a bunch of different dogs.
No, okay, the dog. I heard of a dog called Nasty Man. Not nobody named Nasty Man. He from the South?
I don't know much about him, and that's why I brought it up, man.
You ain't got one of pedigree?
Yeah, I'll post the pedigree again, man. I'll post the pedigree again and show you some of the dogs. Schoolboy knew a lot of the dogs in there, but I think Nasty Man is just he's private, just like Mr. Abraham is, man. And I don't want to tell too much of his business, but I would like to ask for the stuff that's online. Who's familiar with it? You know, if it's not online, then I'm not gonna go digging for it because that's not my business. You know, that's not my business. But here's the pedigree we looked at earlier, J-Bo, and I wanted to bring it up while I got you and Schoolboy on here because even if you don't know Nasty Man, y'all might be familiar with some of the dogs in there. And right behind these dogs that you see up front in the pedigree, like behind Rebels, Turtle, 4-time winner, registered merit, is Jeep and Rascal and some of that Otis blood in there. And then I'll show you some of the dogs behind it because like. Yes, you got Jeep, you got Otis, you got Rascal, you know, and it's coming out of some good strands off of that blood. Are you familiar with any of these dogs? Can you see the screen? And are you familiar with any of these dogs?
Yeah. Well, I had dogs that came down from Champion Tommy. That was out of Turtle. That Sad Eyes bitch we had. She came out of Champion Tommy. I seen a lot of them dogs from that way. But Nasty Man, no. Can I say something?
How did they act though? I'm trying to find out about personalities. How did they act? What was their traits?
This ain't really. I'm trying to find a good way to put that the answer that question that you asked me because it's just I couldn't answer that for that whole pedigree by just talking about one dog. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. Well, let me focus the question in. What was your assessment of the one that you did see?
Well, I had him 29 years.
That dog lived 29 years?
No, I say I had those dogs for 29 years.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Talk about him, J-Bo.
Oh, well, remember the G Red Bar stuff, but I said I can't talk about them just through Champion Tommy, because we had the dog down through Tommy that was off a Turtle, off the Sad Eyes bitch, and it was down for some Hunter Red stuff on the top part of it. It wouldn't be doing Nasty Man no justice talking about my dog when you got his pedigree up there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Were them dogs strong and fast like that? Were they pretty intense?
Yeah, but that picture, they look just like you know what that picture look like? All my dogs when they get old.
Yes, sir. Fair enough.
That Buckskin dog, not him. That Buckskin dog that was Turtle.
Let me show you. Yeah, that's Turtle right there. That's Turtle right there.
Yeah, that's the only thing I can say. They resemble, all my dogs resemble the same old ass dog. When they get like that, all of them look like that. I'm talking about. See, he don't look too good at his age. And I know he's old, but all of them look like that.
Yeah, kind of like my dogs. They're ugly.
Yeah, all of them look like that.
Hey, but the ugly ones, put the pretty ones in a hurt. You know, you can't go off looks.
Mm-hmm. I can speak of that little stuff, but not Nasty Man. You know.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
And I respect that because we don't want to put out anything that's not accurate or gives us a good name to the breed, man. And I respect that, J-Bo.
Mm-hmm.
I used to say all my dogs were ugly, but when they were doing their thing, they looked pretty.
Yeah, beautiful. say I got a chance to see some of your dogs. Say they just talk to you, knowing your greatness. I actually seen the greatness, so I got different
Yes, sir.
respect than these other guys got for you. I got real true respect for you, and I hate to see somebody use your name in vain. And I hope one day you just don't wake up in the morning and say, "Man, them Negroes, caca," and be through with us. I be hearing some of the stuff going on, man. I'm just so glad you talked to us, bro. You know
I,
shit, you know
I
everything. And then when you don't know everything, you say, hold up. You remember it. And
appreciate it, J-Bo. I'm
we
gonna
need
do
to
this as
respect
long as I can, brother. And I'm gonna
yeah,
support people like you too.
we need to
Yes,
Chose
sir.
respect you
my
while you're
stud
here, man.
dog because of Schoolboy.
Thank you. Thank
Because
you.
Schoolboy dogs was in there. That's why I chose my stud dog. Even though he's a good
Nice.
dog, because Big Red was in there. That's why I said, okay, I'm
Yeah.
going this route.
You almost can't go wrong with it, you know. And
That's why
then,
I
you
went
know,
that route.
I didn't know back in the day that J-Bo had seen some of them, you know. And man, it made me feel real good because it's another account of someone else, not just me saying it, you know, but someone else who actually seen them and gave a good account of them like that. You know, that matters to me a lot, you know. So yeah, I'm gonna do
Yeah,
this as much as I can. You know, I've been on J-Bo show. He has a good show. Every show, man, he'll give you something, and he talks. You know, is his demeanor and the people he has on and the topics he's covered. He got a lot of. He's humble like that, but he got a lot of knowledge, man, a lot of information, and a lot of hands-on, which is very important when us old guys start talking. You know, you got to have that experience, and he's got it. So much respect, my friend.
Man, I didn't know you had a little blood in that Grand Champion Outlaw dog.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I seen this video the other day. You know that Grand Champion Outlaw was beat by Champion Leonidas.
right, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Leonidas was off of one of my bitches.
Right, yeah. I didn't know it back. You know, I didn't find that out till later myself. You know, made me feel
Well,
good
I
too.
didn't know it either till I was over here talking shit to myself about my shit that met up with some schoolboys. So,
Yeah, yeah, man. They pop up every now and again, or I'll hear from somebody that hey, I had one of your dogs you may not remember, or I had your blood, this and that. You know, I get it all the time. It just made me feel good. You know, it's usually
yeah, I'm just happy
positive. You
we
know,
crossed paths.
yes, sir.
So how small the world is. Our dogs cross paths.
Yeah, that's how small it is, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I
man, bro.
appreciate it. I appreciate you.
Thank you, brother.
Hey man, y'all legends coming through for the panel, bro. Man, I just want to say thank you, man, because I've been struggling with views a little bit lately, man. And honestly, this is the last two lives that I've had y'all on. We've had the highest level of people tune in live ever, man. And I just want to say thank y'all for helping get my feet under me and helping us run forward with this movement we got going on, man. Salute to you both.
You
Well,
welcome.
man, people
I think
here
I
too.
think it's the
Thank
algorithm.
y'all, bro. We appreciate y'all.
Thank you. I think it's the algorithm because some of my views go down too. It's either that or people get tired of hearing me talk shit. I don't know. You know what I mean? But they kind of waver. They kind of go up and down like that. So I try and figure out ways to do things different too. But it could be YouTube, honestly. Like last night, the problem I was having is it wasn't uploading the video. It took an hour and it got locked up. And Cool Baby's telling me, yeah, it's YouTube doing that. You know.
Yeah,
They messing with your stuff, or they checking it, or somebody made a complaint or something, you know.
yeah, haters.
So it could have something to do with the you know, it seems like it's across the board views with people going down, or they fluctuate too much, you know.
Use the bathroom. Wait.
But what I will tell you is this though. I see who's in the chat and I see the real ones. And salute to all y'all real ones out there, man. There's enough room for everybody to eat at this table as long as you stay on your own plate.
Agreed. We don't even all have to agree, you know, but if we can have respectful conversation, even an argument that don't get out of hand. That's part of it too. We all
Yes,
don't
sir.
agree on everything, and we all don't know everything, and we can learn something. It's like this old chicken man said: when somebody criticizes you, you want to tear their head off. You hate it, you don't like it. But sometimes if you listen to what they say, you might learn something from it, even though you don't like hearing it. They might be right. So it's all part of growing and learning, and if they full of shit, well then they full of shit. But they might give you something that hey, they're right, man. I don't like it, but maybe I might try and apply it or change something or do something about it.
Yeah, man. And it's funny that my mom posted in there, no weapon formed against you will prosper. But mom, I want to tell you this right now. My sister's got a dog too, y'all, and it's old Brenda dog, J-Bo.
Uh-oh.
Man, I'm trying to tell you, if that dog tried me in North Carolina, she's a man biter for real. If she tried me, I got something that's gonna put something on her that Clorox won't get off. And and I think it's funny because my sister's always had dogs too, and I've always thought mine were the better dogs. But I'd be crazy to say that there are women that husband dogs very well. And that dog she got is a very, very well bred dog. I knew the father to that dog, and he was game. He was a true game dog, down out of the Wayne County area in North Carolina. But yeah, she's gonna have to show me how game she is. When I come to North Carolina.
Does your sister have her for like home protection too? Like
no, that dog is a pit bull if I ever seen one. It's purebred, but I just don't like it because she didn't get it from me, So I'm
okay,
like,
yeah, gotcha.
That's what the business is. I've been mad too.
Yeah. She didn't want to.
Jabo already don't like her because she brindle, so that's one mark against her.
But yeah, man, my sister, she takes good care of dogs, man. She it's crazy because I've always been jealous of how her dogs turn out. My aunts too, and I got a story about that. So my aunts, growing up as a kid in Pitt County of all counties, Pitt County, North Carolina, my aunts always had dogs, and they would eat you up. And it didn't matter whether it was a Pekingese, a pit bull. And a lot of people don't know this, but one of my aunts was actually attacked by one of her pits, and it bit her in the face. She ended up in the hospital. And so when I hear about animal attacks and things, I take it very seriously because it's close to my heart, close to my home. And so when my family gets dogs, I always look into who the breeders are. They don't read pedigrees like I read pedigrees, but I look at these things because I get concerned for them, And so there's another just another layer of that onion that Dre wanted to share with y'all, man. I'm gonna drop the mic again and let y'all brothers go ahead and cook. Y'all brothers did? Go ahead, Jay.
I waiting on Northern and them one.
Yo, I'm still here.
There we go.
What'd you say, Dre?
Now I was just telling a story about my aunt got attacked by a poorly bred dog. It was when I say scatterbred, this was genuinely scatterbred. There wasn't nothing in there that correlated to that pedigree. She got the dog. His name was Rocky, and she got him, and he attacked her. And of course, like my family, we're dog people, man. This ain't make no news because she knew exactly why it happened. Poor breeding practices, unstable dog. $150 dog, and it didn't turn out well for her. So when I speak on these things, I don't want people to think that I'm just like regurgitating information that other people have mentioned. These are things that happen in my life, man. This is the life of being in the Bulldogs.
Yeah, kind of along the lines you were talking about, Gray. Sometimes I'd be jealous of my wife. It's something with girls and dogs, or at least my girls and dogs. I raise these dogs. I spend a lot of time with them. interact with them, school them, all that stuff, feed them, all that, right? But they love my wife more than they do me, you know, and they listen to her more.
Ain't that the
And
truth?
you know, everybody has a little tinge of fear of dogs, especially if they're gonna attack you. You know, you can't avoid it. Angie don't, man. She's not scared of them, even if they come at her. We were at a friend's house one time, went up to visit him, and he had a house dog, and she was aggressive. We knew it. He had to put her up and all that. But he comes to the door, and the dog was loose, and Angie's walking up to the door, and the dog gets past him, gets outside, and bum rushes her, man, growling and like gonna bite her. She just stood there like nothing and stared the dog down. And right as it come up to her, it stopped. I'm trying to run over there. The owner's gonna right behind the dog, trying to snatch her up. Angie didn't even flinch, man. And that dog just stopped. If it was me, we're gonna throw down. I'm gonna get bit, this and that. She had no fear, man. And she's just that way with dogs. And in her mind, you know, it's a dog. I'm the boss. You ain't the boss. But she babies him too, and she, you know, treats him a certain way. Mr. Rowdy, I talked about him. You know, she bottle fed Rady. He didn't need it. She just did it because she wanted a baby. But he loved her, man, and he listened to her. I could be in the box with him, and she's gonna listen. He's gonna listen to her more than me, and I'm handling him, and I condition them. And you know that bond you get when you condition them. You know, but he didn't care. That was his mama, man. So I always had that little bit of jealousy, you know, man. He taking over my dog. My dogs love her better than they do me, man. It's kind of funny, but you learn to accept it, you know.
Yeah.
My son's that way too. My son's that way. He's not scared of dogs, man. Stray dogs, cur dogs, come up to him, don't even flinch, man. Me, I'm gonna get ready because I know dogs bite and all that, but they don't. You know?
I'm gonna get ready. Fuck that shit.
They just look at them with disdain. Man, fuck you, dog. You ain't shit. You know, I'll pick you up. You know, and they convey that to them. I guess I don't know what it is. Not me, man. I'm gonna snatch them up, dude.
Shit, I used that motherfucking tactic one time. Show no fear, and it got me bit regardless. I ain't gonna show no fear, but I done been bit too many times to not get ready, you know, especially.
That's right. You better react. Yeah, you better react.
I definitely gotta react. I'm definitely gonna react. That's why it's like this. That's another reason I say, if you got a dog that's people aggressive like that, man, and you know it, he's uncontrollable. You can't control him, period. Man, you got to get rid of them type. You just got to, because they dangerous as fuck, bro. You just can't fuck with them type of dogs like that. They're just too dangerous. If you cannot control them at no point, it ain't no need to have them. Them dogs are too dangerous, man. It's just an accident waiting to happen.
Hey, so speaking of accidents, and this is I can only tell y'all stories of my idiocy, right? And so my first $100 puppy I bought, she just wasn't it. And
God, where you keep finding these motherfuckers, I've never seen that shit in my life.
So trailer parks, and so I called myself gonna toughen her up because I saw the older cats around. Not older, these are like I'm 12 at the time. These guys, 17, 18, and they be pinching them and doing all this stuff to them tough. So I'm in my room. I'm gonna make this dog the hardest thing. I got DMX on the radio. This is dedicated to what? Like I got that playing. I'm like, I'm gonna do everything I can to make this dog everything it's supposed to be. And I'm tugging at this dog, whatever, and this dog gonna biting me and putting a hole through my lip, man. And the hole was so deep, I would smoke a cigarette and the smoke would come out my top lip, man. It was crazy. And yeah, man, it was then that I realized that you can't make a dog something that it's not. So a brother in the chat had posted, let me go back and see what he said. He said, brother Wordless said, they love what you love. And I wish that I had that kind of mentorship then. It wasn't for a couple years later that somebody saw me and said, this kid ain't gonna leave these dogs alone. Let me put him on the right path. And that's what it does when we have these conversations. Is it's not going to get to everybody. Everybody can't obtain. Everybody ain't got the same IQ, right? And so I just want to say, man, with that being said, bro, when y'all giving knowledge to these young cats, man, you might talk to 10 young cats and get through to one of them. but that one becomes a force multiplier in this thing that we're doing, combating the stupid in the game.
Well
Dre,
said. You
you
know,
remember me telling you about that old pit when I left California, that black and white one had bit my daughter in the face when I was gone,
Yeah,
and my baby mom was supposed to put that dog down. Remember, came back. What was it? Last year before last, and I found that the son bitch was still living because I seen him in the kennel. Yeah, I couldn't believe that, and it made me mad as hell though, because I don't see how she trusted that dog around our kids no more. You feel me? I just didn't, and they kept it a secret from me for years, bro. But I happened to see him back there in the same kennel on live. Him and the buskin dog. I couldn't believe it. I was like, that son bitch still living. Face was gray and everything. Talking about is right. Y'all been bullshitting the whole time. That dog's supposed to been put down years ago. I couldn't believe it. But
yeah, that could have been a bad accident, man.
Yeah, that was a dangerous situation. Well, you know, I couldn't tell him what to do. I mean, I wanted him put down. She told me she was going to put him down, you know, and I was way across country at that time by then. So, you know, I wasn't coming back and forth to California like that then. So it wasn't nothing I could do. Yeah. So, but they knew if I'd have found out back then I was still young and crazy, I'd have came home and did that dog myself. But they played me good. It was a good one, I guess.
Yes, sir.
Accident waiting to happen, though. That's just the shit. Oh, dog.
Yeah, you can't take them accidents back, man. It's a done deal.
No,
it's like you put your finger, you know. Yeah, no, I get it. I get it. Yeah.
All the years, man. And here's the thing about that. That dog was back in the day. That dog come up out the neighborhood. You feel me? Them boys was doing shit with them dogs, and shit, they just wanted, you know, for a house dog. And I kept, you know, you can't bring these ones like that and break them in the house dog like that. But you know, me and baby mama used to them. Boy, we got kids now, so that's what blew my head about that dog was still living after all them years. I couldn't believe it, bro. Couldn't believe it.
Yes, sir. Hey, we got Brother Supreme. We got Brother O'Shea in the building. Welcome, brother. Welcome to the panel.
I appreciate that, famo.
Welcome.
Whatever's
I ain't never had nothing real bad happen as far as like a dog attack. I've been bitten by dogs that we've owned, but it wasn't been too bad. That first litter that we had when I was like 13, we gave one of the dogs to my uncle. So that dog was crazy. I don't know if he had put it down or not, but that dog was crazy. Like, could nobody go near that dog? And my girl dog, actually, you know, you gotta kind of work with him. You know, he done bit me a couple times, but it ain't been like out of aggression. It's been more like fear or don't know what's going on. But man, when you got those type of dogs though that do that damage to you, it's best to go and get it out the way. And then you might have an individual who got like a connection with that dog, and that person might be what's stopping that dog from being put down, or you know. So man, it'd be tough, man. My condolences to anybody who get hurt by a dog. For real.
Salute.
I've never been bit by a dog, but I've been bit by a Chihuahua. The dog, I'm not scared of dogs. Only dogs I'm scared of is the little dogs, and that's only because I will kick somebody's little dog, and it's not me being rude or nothing. I always tell them, get your dog, because I know these little motherfuckers bite. I was traumatized by a Chihuahua when I was like 6. Motherfucker bit me, so I let people know, you better get this little motherfucker. I will kick it. And it ain't because I'm mean, but this motherfucker will bite me. I know they will. That's them little dogs. I'll bite the shit out your eye. But I had a female. I guess you gotta call her man biter because she done bit a few people. But her ass, she was a sneaky biter. You know what I'm saying? I never bred her or nothing, but she'll be cool with you. You know, as long as I'm cool with you. But if you make one false move, she'll nip your ass. Like, hey, motherfucker. Like I used to have my door wide open and sitting in my chair in my living room watching something or something. She'll come sit right behind me and just watch the door. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Pure
Yes,
pit
sir.
bull. You know what I'm saying? She'll sit there and just watch the door. I love that. That was still one of my favorite dogs to this day. But she will bite a random stranger.
She has your back.
Man, she will bite a random She like fell in love with me or something. Like she didn't like the females I brought around or nothing. You feel me? Like, hold on, this my,
Mm.
you
Yeah.
for real.
she telling you something about them females, you know?
For real. And I always followed her judgment. That was my girl. You know what I'm saying? I followed her
Yeah.
judgment because she was that smart. This dog would get on the table. Swear to God, get on the table like a human. Sit in the chair. If you ain't paying attention, she'll be in that chair eating your plate like a human.
Hey y'all.
Just sitting there.
What's going on, Shay?
But as far as them sneaky biters, man, them the scariest ones, man.
And y'all got a
I'd
little
rather have a dog
low
that's
energy and it's
show
not
the
that
aggression.
entertaining.
What was
What'd you
that?
say?
I said it seems a little low energy around here, not that entertaining.
Brian O'Shea, bro, come on, man. You don't come in the panel with no shit like that, family.
He said low energy. All right, what would you like to talk about then?
Probably because he scared the shit out of everybody when he popped up.
I know he scared me.
Who scared who?
He said low
He one of
energy.
them sneaky biters. He one of them sneaky biters like I was just talking about. You know, you don't know when they're gonna bite. They
No,
just bite.
it's very unentertaining. Which you suggest we talk about? What topic would you like to discuss?
Aren't black people afraid of dogs in general?
Bye.
Aren't black people afraid of dogs in general?
Get this shit, bro. What the? Come
You're
on, thank
gone.
you,
You're gone.
thank
We
you,
don't
thank you.
do that
Oh
over
my
here.
God, I was about to say,
We
bro.
don't
Come
do
on,
that over here. If you want to be a racist,
O'Shea.
be a racist on your channel.
Aren't black people scared of dogs in general? Well,
Hey,
I
let me
guess
say this. Now, let me address
I
this
guess
right now. Hold on, M1. Let me address this right now on my channel. All right, cool. You are entitled to have your opinion, but also you're entitled to have your own YouTube channel. And if you want to propagate hate, racism, sexism, ageism, anything like that, take that over there. There's plenty of platforms where you can be accepted for the person that you are, and that ain't what we stand for over here. I love everybody, and I show that. Also, for my white brothers that don't do that dumb shit, this ain't a shot at y'all, but he is the prime example of why there's so much of a schism in America right now. Because with him coming out here with that dumb shit, he wants to change the vibration, but we're not going to do it because at the end of the day, we all on one accord, and where there are a few gathered in his presence, there he will be. And I'm talking about God right now. All right, that's that God force energy. We're gonna boot that up out of here every time. We gave him
I
a
got a
chance.
question. I got a question for the panel, real quick.
Go ahead, bro.
If somebody said the word monkey to somebody, that's derogatory, right? Right?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Is it?
Yes, sir.
Monkey,
So hold on.
monkey
Before
mode.
anybody else talk, hold on. Before somebody else talk, hold on. Okay, me growing up, if I ever heard somebody call a black person a monkey or anybody a monkey, it was a racial term, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so this motherfucker that was on Buck Channel, I don't even watch this shit. You feel me? I seen the motherfucker call motherfuckers monkeys. I automatically got off that shit because the way I was raised, when somebody got racial, you know, at an early age, I got physical. I had to learn not to be physical. You understand what I'm saying? That's something I had to learn. So my thing is, if a motherfuckers is on YouTube yelling monkey, how is niggas still fucking with him? This nigga been yelling monkey for months, but niggas is still fucking with him. Something going on, fam.
Hey, let me ask y'all this, man, because how do you block? So I ain't never blocked nobody on YouTube before. Actually, I'm telling you, I blocked one person on YouTube. I ain't never did it while I was live before. But what I'm not gonna do is because one of the brothers, hey, shout out to Hood Therapy. Hey, Hood Therapy, I appreciate you, bro, because you saw where it was going, and I tried to give him a chance, but he came over with that dumb shit. You know, hey, I don't even want to give him power His name is OJ or O'Shea or something like that. But he is exactly what we don't want over here, man. He is exactly what we don't want over here. And for all of you, because they said he's streaming us right now. So this is what I'm about to do for all of his followers. All right. I hope that you are blessed with a love that exceeds all understanding. I pray for you in the name of Jesus Christ, the one true Lord and Savior of my life. And I hope that God reaches your heart in a way that a human being will never do it. I also hope that you find what you're looking for in life before it comes back to harm you, my brother. I bless you in the name of those who can't speak for themselves, but also understand this: you are not welcome here.
Period.
Amen.
Yeah, man.
You want
I will
to change? You
always
want to change
combat hate
subject?
with love. I will always combat hate with love.
I'm glad you handled that.
Now, what was we talking about before that though?
We was talking
I
about
don't know.
biters, dogs that
Go
bite.
Oh
P.
yeah, we talking about the biters. Okay.
Go P.
Well, let's
I'll
go ahead, schoolboy.
I'll say something on that, right? And this is over the years, so it's a long period of time. I know of 3 fatalities with children and pit bulls. How many is acceptable? 1, 2, 3 more before people are going to get it in their head not to keep those type of dogs, or if you have those type of dogs, like was said, control them. And if you can't control them, don't have them. These are children. One of them was forewarned and the parents did not listen. The dog was trained in everything, a pit bull, obedience, attack, house trained, all that. And he bit their kid. So they took it to a trainer. The trainer assessed the dog and said, this dog should not be alive. Leave him here. I'll put him down for you for free. I won't charge you. They said no. Took him back home. 2 weeks later, he killed their child. That's the extreme. It don't happen that often. It don't happen with most pit bulls. And it don't happen with a lot of breeds. And it don't just happen with pit bulls. It happens with other breeds too. Mostly other breeds. So how much of that is acceptable until people learn it's better not to have them? That's terrible, man. Children.
Horrible.
I'm just saying.
Horrible.
I'm just saying.
Then I just seen on the news today, I guess it was last week, a woman gets ate up by 3 pits, and the police popped up and had to peel the dogs off of her with the bullets. They were shredding her, chunks of her flesh all over the place. Well, come to find out, she was at her son's house. She was trying to come in the house, and he got 6 daughters in there. They ripped that woman to shreds. This boy got a mental problem. By the time they ended the story, the boy had called in his neighbor's phone, talked to him. He called his mother's phone. The police answered the phone eventually, and he screams, "Where's my mother?" And as they began to tell him what happened, he hung up the phone, and they told him the boy was suicidal. So I ain't no telling how that turned out. And they didn't say if the woman lived or not either. That was last week, I believe, if I ain't mistaken, but I just caught it today or yesterday. And that's just horrible. The police kept giving the description of how bad it was when they showed up. He had to shoot 3 dogs more than once. And then there was 3 more in the house when they had to take them in the house. So they had their hands full. They were popping guys left and right. Down. And at that point, they shouldn't have been down. He should have never had dogs anyway. His mind ain't stable. So it's just, I don't
That's
know.
exactly what can happen, man.
Way to regulate this shit, bro. We got to be some way to regulate this shit. It starts with the breeders. Stop breeding this bullshit if you don't know what you're doing. Stop selling dogs to motherfuckers that's irresponsible. You got to screen them some kind of way. gonna have to. Just too much
I
bad
feel
shit going on. And this time, guess what? We can't say it was the bullets, people. Majority of the time, that's what they do. Blaming the pit bull. Or any bull breed, and the pit bull get the blame for it. But guess what? This time, we can't try and say that. All 6 of them dogs are pit bulls.
mm.
So now it falls
all,
in our
all
hands like
living together in the same
because
area. The pit bulls is all
in the
living together
same
in the
crib,
same
a
area.
bunch of big ass man biting cars.
Wow. I got
Dismantled the
something to
boy
say on
mama.
that too.
Dismantled his mama.
Unfortunately, we living in a time where humans care in this country. Humans care more about animals than they fellow humans. You know, they rather go help an animal that's out there hurting or hungry and bring it to the house instead of going to feed their fellow man. You know what I'm saying? Like no charitableness. They rather do it with an animal. That's why we in the position we in right now. You know, where
But
motherfucker
because
have a man
they,
biting animal. Hold on. Motherfucker have a man biting animal, but feel like that animal can be changed just because it's an animal. They don't do that with humans. You know what I'm saying? That's all I wanted to put in on it. We
No, you
just
I
in
for
that
don't
real.
time
know.
You said a lot. You just said the truth right there, bro. You just said the truth.
Yeah, I
All,
don't know what
all
it's gonna
true.
take.
I'm gonna let the dog in.
All right. So
a person would rather hear the story of that animal being saved than that child being saved. You know what I'm saying? Oh, we had to put my dog down because it bit my son. Why'd you put the dog down? He should have came with me. You know what I'm saying? What the fuck you mean? Why I put the dog down? Bit my son. And then they
hey
feel
Martinez,
bad
that's
for the
you?
dog, not your son.
You're right.
Martinez, is that you?
Yeah, what's up, guys? How you
Oh
doing?
yeah, I had to make sure,
Hey, what's
Hey,
Martinez.
happening?
Samurai, Schoolboy, M1,
Martinez.
What's
What's
good,
So
big
up?
dog?
what's
King,
up?
Northern.
So,
What's up?
Martinez.
Yes, yes. Yeah, I just said let me drop in after the bad energy that just came in. See if we could make this show come back right again.
Yes, sir. Yes.
yeah,
So
appreciate you.
so what are we talking about now?
The
So
man biters.
Oh man,
yeah,
biters. I
and the negatives behind it, bro. Go ahead, Martinez.
okay, okay. I
Hey,
had
bro.
one dog. They had given me one dog one time. I don't know if it was a bulldog, like American bulldog, but this dog, he was a pup. He was like 8, 9 months old. And at the time, I was living, and I had a stepdaughter and stuff like that. And this dog would like out of nowhere just jump out, and you make a wrong move, and he'll bite. And I think he got to nip her hand one time, and then one time he went after somebody. I got rid of him right away. I can't keep no animals like that bite people, especially for no reason. It's very dangerous. Um, Next thing you know, uh, I find them in the dog pound. Months later, I didn't put him in the dog pound. I forgot what I did. I did with him. I think I gave it to somebody that was looking for a dog like that. And basically, the dog, they end up, the guy in the dog pound told me that they took the dog to a professional dog trainer, and the trainer said this dog is untrainable. So, I mean, dogs like that are very dangerous. You know, it's too much of a liability to have a dog like that. You know, that would just go at somebody for no reason. You know, yeah. I just, um, you know, want to mention that. I guess.
Nah, brother. Thank you for weighing in. And Martinez, while I got you here, man, uh, I do have some questions for you, bro. How did you? At what time did you start doing the kennel setups like you got, man? Because I always give you kudos on your husbandry. When did you start getting them kennels, and how did you get them things set up like that?
Um, well, I mean, it been little by little. What I normally do, what I try to do is, I have gotten my kennels from Northern, not Northern Tools, Tractor Supply. And I don't know if you guys know, which I dropped it one time on my on the channel. Um, they have them on November for Black Fridays. They have them on sale with $100 off. So I just snatched them up. I snatched them up real quick, and I wish I could make them a little big. I would like 10x10s. I would like them to be 10x10s instead of 5x10s, but also the rooms. Um, Another thing I don't do with my dogs, I don't encourage them to uh like bark at each other. Like I don't do things with them where encourage them to um how can I say it? To go at each other. So I think that's why they're more mellow out towards each other, um as far as not cage fighting. I don't know if that's the line of dogs that I'm running now or what, but I got them playing right now. I don't know if you could look at these two.
Yeah, I want y'all to look because he's sharing with y'all his yard. I want y'all to look and see how clean everything is, man. And look how
Nice.
athletic these dogs are.
Beautiful.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Like that's my dream setup. You know what I'm saying? And the only thing I would add is I would want to shed on the side with because Martinez ain't gonna tell y'all this because he's humble, but he went live the other night and had a cold snap and he got setups in the garage for when it get too cold outside too. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna brag for my brother if he can't brag on himself.
Yeah, I try not to brag on the dogs. I mean, it is what it is with the dogs. You know, they have to prove themselves.
Peep the shade trees, y'all. Like y'all missing gold. Peep the shade trees. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at the angle of it. It's 1 o'clock here, which means it's 4 o'clock there, which means that when the sun rises, they're gonna get some sunlight, and then as it goes down in the west, come on, man. And even talking about Parvo and how it blows into your yard, Parvo blows east and west winds. He got a barrier of trees there blocking off the winds. Man, come on, bro. That's nasty, bro. I'm sorry, I'm gonna shut up, Martinez. My bad.
You're fine.
Salute.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't know too much about these dogs.
Last thing, how peaceful
that's why
why
I'm on the show. That's why I'm on the show. That way I could learn from you a lot of. I ain't gonna lie. I have learned. Oh, hey, am I still on?
Yeah, you good, bro. You good.
Okay, I have learned a lot from all these channels. That's why I like to, support all these channels. Schoolboy, Thompson, you, Samurai. I mean, you guys, you can learn from everybody. A little thing here and there, but you could get something from everybody, anybody. And that's why I enjoy these shows and enjoy supporting other game dog show channels, no matter how big, how small they are.
Salute, brother.
Appreciate it.
Salute. Yeah, man. Hey, Martinez, you got fire. Like they got fire. They got good man. Like they showing love, man. They love you, bro. We love you, bro.
I appreciate you guys. I really do.
Hey, Martinez could have had me go outside clean up my yard right now.
Yeah. But I'm getting them ready for the show. There's a show in Charlotte, ADBA coming up in next month. I'll be out there. Hopefully, I can win some ribbons. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Sir.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
yes,
good
sir.
luck, man. Give him hell.
I'll try. Yeah.
Hey, man, I want to say, Martinez, thank you for coming through with that positive energy too, bro, because that just shows you, man, it don't matter. It matter who or what tries to stop us, man. It's real. It's the gameness in the man. The gameness in the man changes everything, man. Oh, bro, this is all love, man. I'm so excited, and I told my wife as soon as I get done with the live, we're going to get some donuts because you know what I'm saying. Like I like the chocolate covered donuts with the sprinkles, and I like the ones that look like the ones off of the Simpsons, the pink ones with the sprinkles. That's my Jones, man. That's my Jones.
Hey, I got a question about so with the ADBA to become an ADBA champion, let's say it's a show and it's 2 days. Is it possible for your dog to become a champion in that 1 day or them 2 days if you attend it?
It's hard, I think, because they need to get 100 points. I
Yeah.
believe it's 100 points, and I forgot how the points go, but you only get like what is it, like 5, 10 points here, like it's like that. So
Mm.
so you probably if your dog does good, I mean, you probably walk out with like maybe 20 points. I think. I would say that. So I think you have to be more consistent with it. I
Right.
think that's why a lot of folks go to a lot more shows. Like you'll see them in more than one show to get those 100 points.
Hey,
Okay.
you're 100% right, Martinez, and Supreme. To give it because Martinez gave you the real. It's damn near impossible. But the possibility is on a big show like Houston Top Dogs, where they have a show on Friday night, where they have a Saturday early show, a Saturday late show, a Sunday early show, and a Sunday late show, is doable. But you would almost have to win best in show every time, because not only do you have to win, but the number of dogs in the ring can change the number of points given. I.e., if you win first place with less than 10 dogs, I want to say it's like 8 points. But if you have more than 10 dogs, then it's 10 points. And then best in
Right.
show adds more to that. So you'd have to win 4 best in shows pretty much to guarantee that 100 points in that weekend, whether it be less than 10 or more than 10 dogs in the show ring.
Mm.
For example, I took 25 points in 2 shows, right? That's a brag. That's a flex. I came in second place. That was 5 points. And then I got a first place with over 10 dogs in the ring with an evening show and a best in show. So that equates to 25 points. And that was, off of 2 show, basically a morning and evening show. So it would be extremely difficult to pull it off in one weekend, but it is doable. But you're gonna have to go out there and knock heads off.
Yeah.
Mm. You gonna have to bring the best.
Yeah.
You hear that, Faye?
Because I think my boy Max, I think Max is shooting at 25 points, and he has taken already best in show best in show. He took in first place in one show. Second show he took and then he took nothing on the second. And then he took second and third last year. So he's sitting at 25 points. Yeah, and that's
Yes,
Max.
sir. Yes, sir. One of my good brothers sent us a ped, and he sent it. So I'm gonna show some love, man. Northern Association, you wanna chime in on this ped first?
Yeah, I was just wanted to show an ADBA champion. That's Molly. She an ADBA champion.
Nice.
Hey,
Mhm.
I'm glad you posted that because guys, this is a good example of what the ADBA judges are kind of tabulating. But I will say this, and shouts out to Schoolboy, correct me if I'm wrong, but different judges look for different things. Like the early judge that gave me second place, the dogs he looked at were more slender built, but the evening judge, he liked the more Jeep looking dogs. He liked the like that, and both judges like. But yeah, they like my conditioning because they said it looked like what they would have taken out back in the day.
Right.
So Schoolboy, go ahead and cook on that, Schoolboy.
Yeah, you're right. Every judge has their preference. And some like taller, longer, some like thinner, some like shorter, squatty, some like bulldoggy type, some like terrier type.
I was gonna say, break that
Yeah.
pedigree down, Schoolboy in there. You in that pedigree, Schoolboy.
Am I? Yeah, I couldn't see it. Yeah.
You have to go to that G Solo.
Oh yeah, Solo.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know that dog.
Up top, the green one, Samurai.
Schoolboy
Yeah.
be on stuff that he don't even be knowing he be on.
Yeah,
Man,
yeah,
he
that
my
happens
shit.
all the
He in
time.
my shit for sure.
Yeah. What Dunleavy's what? Lady Magnum? Oh yeah. I think that was some of Tito's stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's an old yeah. That was
that dog about 7 years old right now.
yeah. Yeah, that's breeding way back in the day, man. Yeah, that was during a time when I got, not too personal, but I got busted, and I had to place my dogs in different people's yards, right?
Hmm.
So while Big Red was somewhere else, they made that breeding, which I didn't care. You know, I had no stipulations. You know,
Right.
one person they even got a pregnant female from me, and they whelped the pup, and we split the litter. You know,
Hmm.
so I had no compunctions about that, and but they made that breeding. I think that was during that time. Yeah, that's a good breeding. That a lot of that, if I'm not mistaken, some of that has Finley's Bow stuff and Candy, and you know, going back there because they used a lot of the Social Boy stuff. They had other stuff too. Tito had other stuff too, but they used a lot of that Finley's Bow, Social Boy stuff. Outlaw, Grand Champion Outlaw. Yeah, he's a Grand Champion. What's his name? Fritz. Is that Fritz?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. My mic was
Yeah,
muted. It is.
yeah. Fritz, Grand Champion. Social Boys did them. I think Tito did them for his last one or his second one, and he won on the same card as Soros champion Uncle Bud and Smith and Walton's Grand Champion Badger. That was in Mississippi. Badger got best of show, but Fritz was on that card too. Yeah, there's some good dogs.
Hey, shouts out to Dickie Foster with that 2-piece tip. Hey, let's get it.
Dickie,
Yeah,
Dickie always come through, man. It's good
Oh
people.
yeah. Oh yeah.
That's my man right there. That's my boy.
man, bro. Y'all brothers, man. Y'all, the knowledge that y'all bring is insane. I want to share some of these comments with y'all too. For those of y'all who are thinking about showing, because Brother Vernon Starr, he shared a lot of knowledge. He said ADBA shows are not like AKC shows. Then he put Brother Sir Kendall's put all judges are different. But this is the one that got me, Vernon Starr. He said most exhibitors chase a certain judge that likes their dog or the dog's type. Man, that's big. That's big. Because the judge
that's the politics side of it that people talk about. You know, that's the politics. Yeah, they will do that, and some have their preferences, their friends, or something like that. You know, you want to think or hope that a judge is impartial. You know, and I'll be honest with you. You know, if it was a friend of mine or even somebody had my blood, I would be reluctant to give them a first just so I don't look biased, you know.
Yeah.
And I would tell them that, you know, my dog should have got fried. Yeah, man, but it's got my stuff in it. How does that look if I'm picking my blood? Nah,
See,
that don't look. It don't sit right with me. So,
see,
but there is that you know, people do chase particular judges or their friends and like that. You hope it wouldn't be that way, but it's that way in life. So, you know.
but I would like to add. I would like to add, Schoolboy. But that's the job. You know, that's the job of you of the person being a good handler and knowing how to show their dogs and you know how to show their dogs how to win with their dogs. So you got to do your job as a handler and know how to show your dogs their how you say it, um their good side or their strengths and try to hide,
That's true.
not show you the weakness in your dog.
The
So
fault.
it's up to you also, the faults. Yeah. So it's up to you.
No, that's first and foremost. You're right. That's first and foremost. You know, how you handle, how your dog behaves, how you interact. If you know what you're doing, any judge is going to recognize that. And it's going to be partial to that person that way because you're doing your job, like you said. So yeah, that's part of it too. That's an important part. Yep.
All right, we got another one that came in, y'all. Like, oh man, Supreme, that's you. That's a good looking bulldog. Let me put that up for y'all. So y'all see these positive bulldogs. Now, I love the structure on that dog right there, man. Like, she's beautiful. She's beautiful.
That's a pup, huh?
Yeah.
No,
What is
she's
she?
3.
She's 3?
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's
She's
3.
tiny, huh? How big is she? 32.
Man, no. Last time I had her weighed at the vet, it was 46. So she's just a
Oh,
solid.
gee. It must be the angle where I'm losing it. I'm getting old.
No,
I'm
she does.
losing
No,
it.
it does. She doesn't look young, schoolboy. He look like a pup. He got good genes.
Yeah. That's good.
But
Then she
I
won't
just
get no gray hairs when she gets older. She can still look young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, man. That I think that I hope it leads to longevity as well, man. Because I've seen you mention this dog quite often, and I know you love her, and that's what I want to exhibit is the love you have for your animal. That's very important. If you don't love them, they end up in the pound.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. Caution on your landings, though, bro. Because if I'm not mistaken, bad landing is what took out Champion Honey Bunch.
Oh yeah. Yeah. She do like to be. Girl, let my finger go.
Yeah. And while I got you on the subject of tugs, a brother had brought up in the chat earlier. Some people say tugging is bad for the dog. If the dogs become possessive of a toy to the point where they're object guarding, take that toy away and don't use it anymore. That's a danger. But right now she looks like she's just having fun, man. Very springy.
Yeah, that's true. And that's part of the handling, you know. It's like, you know, a lot of people will talk about it, you know, when the dog's eating, they put their hand in their food or they take the bowl away and give it back, make sure the dog ain't aggressive. You do that from when they're young, and you do the same types of things when they you know, doing stuff like this, you know. For example, back in the day, I would have my dogs in the box, schooling them, and my son would get in there and he'd just touch them. He'd pull their tail, he'd touch their lip while they're doing their thing. And the dog has to remain focused on what it's doing, cognizant that you're there, and he's not going to turn on my son. That was his dog, you know. But you can do that with all your dogs. Touch them when they're doing that. You know, you're going to tug and they want it and all that. But, you know, you have to have that interaction with them. And you'll see, you know, it's kind of a test too. See how they react, which ones react, ignore you being there, or they like you being there, you know, they'll wag their tail more. And it's all that. It's all the handling and touching and all that stuff. Teaching them what boundaries they have, all that stuff. Keep doing what you're doing, man. It's good stuff.
Yeah,
Appreciate
brothers.
it.
Brother Nemesio sending this pair right here, and I wanted to share with y'all as well. It's a Bruce and Barks Red Baby Ace, and I'm seeing that influence that basically across very similar to what I like. You got
Got a side
the
up
Bruce and
Red
Barks
Baby
stuff
Case.
coming down off the tab stuff, man. You got the Garners chiming in there. I'm already in love with this just in the first 4 generations.
Yeah, he's good people with me, and he had some good dog, good breeder. That Irish Tom's Justice was a bad dog. He had Champion Swamp Dog, a son of Jeet, won 3, lost 2. He had Torrid Mace, Champion Rattler, and a lot of good stuff. He wanted to send me some dogs back in the day, but I had so many, enough, you know, and I just, you know, certain people would do that, and I, you know, man, if I'd thought about it, I should have just took them, you know. He just want, you know, want to let me use them, you know. And I
Got a
just
side of her
respectfully, yeah. Did you?
in the camp. Yeah, we got one off of her in the camp right now.
Nice.
Wait.
Yeah. It's yeah. He bred a lot of good dogs, man. He knows his stuff, you know. He even had a litter mate to my sissy female, double bred Jeep. Father daughter bred off a Jeep. He had a litter mate to sissy. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey fellas, the donuts are calling me. I'm gonna do my parting shots. Y'all
All
brothers
right.
say y'all parting shots, man. Make sure y'all plug y'all channels and any products you may have, and then we're gonna get up out of here.
Cool. Everybody, you know, I have a YouTube channel on YouTube, Schoolboy Richard Garcia or whatever. I forget what it's called, but just search Richard Garcia Schoolboy. I got shirts, books I wrote, my T-shirts, sticks, some old Sporting Dog Journal reprints. I have a registry, ICDR. You can hit me up on Facebook Messenger or my email, richardjschoolboy60@gmail.com, or on Instagram, and I will answer your message. And appreciate all the support. Thanks for having me on, Samurai. Respect to all the panel and respect to everybody in the chat. Good show, man, like always.
Thank you, Schoolboy.
It's the M1 Samurai, man. I appreciate everybody for stopping through. And yeah, peace and blessings to you and your family, you know. Without y'all, it could have been a success, man. So just thanks for stopping by. And yeah, support me, bro. Keep doing what you doing, man. Doing what you doing.
Yes,
So,
sir.
and I'm out.
Peace, brother. Martinez, make sure you plug your channel, Martinez. I know you humble.
Oh yeah.
But make sure you.
Oh, thank you. I'm on YouTube, Martinez Game Dogs. Also on Instagram, Martinez Game Dogs. I post my pictures on Instagram, and anybody can message me on there. Also, you know, any questions, whatnot. If I can help anybody in any way, I will. And yeah, Martinez Game Dogs.
Man,
Nice. Good
once
luck at
again,
that show, brother.
and shouts out to you for putting pressure on everybody in the game for their husbandry, bro. I'm telling you, that's the kind of husbandry that nobody can argue against. Salute.
Can't. Salute.
Catch y'all
Brother
later on the
Northern-
next one.
All right, brother.
Salute, dog.
Northern Association, go ahead, bro.
You know, I'm just a nobody trying to tell everybody about somebody who can save anybody. Nah, you know what it is.
Sing it. Sing
I
it.
know I know what's his name know that song. You gotta know that, Dre, if you were raised in the country.
Yes, sir.
I know, but nah, it's Northern Association, man. You know, I don't really be on here much. I just listen. Appreciate everything everybody got going. You know, the ones that I do mess with. You know, Samurai, salute, bruh, for real. Mr. Garcia, M1, Martinez, salute, cause I watch all y'all. You feel what I'm saying? And just want to say I appreciate y'all, man, for spreading this knowledge and shit. You feel me? If you want to go see some of my dogs, go check out Northern Association. I'm about to post some recent pictures of Luna, who took best in show in the Samurai dog show. And I'm gonna
Salute to
post some more
Luna.
of her brother. Oh, her name is
Congratulations.
Lunatic, cause she a fucking lunatic.
Okay. Salute.
She is. That's that schoolboy shit. I'm telling you. That shit all
So
the
you
way
got
down
that.
in them motherfuckers.
That's your channel?
Yeah, that's
That's the
my
name of your
channel.
channel?
Yeah,
Okay, I'm
Northern
finna
Association.
subscribe to that right now.
I'm gonna post up some more recent stuff. You know, I just don't. You know, I don't do this YouTube stuff, bro. But I appreciate y'all for real.
Salute.
Thank you.
Salute.
Thank you for coming through and taking time out of your Sunday with us, bro. We appreciate you.
No problem. That's you know, that's my
Brother
Sunday,
Supreme.
my Sabbath to Saturday. So peace, blessings, y'all.
Yes, sir.
Man,
Brother
I ain't got too
Supreme.
much to say, man. You know, I'm on sponge mode right now, you know, so I'm just soaking it all up, man. Soaking it all up. Y'all might see something from me in a couple years.
Yes, sir. All right, man. And y'all know who it is, man. Shouts out to Brother John Kramer. Brother John, we shutting it down right now, bro. But thank you for coming through. Make sure y'all catch the replay. A special salute to Beverly White. Beverly White is a real one. Keep it down, man. For those y'all, this was the impromptu live. I didn't really propagate it. Shouts out to Martinez Game Dog. Shouts out to Northern Association, Schoolboy, Supreme Excellence 1, all the Shogun Brothers, JT, going hard. Man, if I say your name, we'll be here for another 30 minutes. All right. So let's do it like this. Everybody who is really for the dogs, stay for the dogs. Everybody who is not, stay where you're not. But we're gonna practice peace, love, and opportunity over here, and that's what it's gonna be. Make sure y'all follow everybody and subscribe to everybody, because the more we know who we're dealing with, the more we can back our brothers. All right. With that being said, y'all, we out.
Peace.
Peace.